Waste Options Monday Night Motorsport for the last time in the third server 2025 and for the fourth and final time in the month of August. Therefore, the last hit out of spring, winter, before we launch into spring next Monday night. I don't know what I'm trying to say. We're short for time, though, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just padding until we clear the track map to show you the grid as we welcome you to Monday Night Motorsport across Facebook and YouTube. This is the Gentleman Sim Racing Club Waste Options MX5 Challenge at the magnificent Willow Springs International Circuit, and that is 3.91 kilometres to circuit length. The configuration we're on tonight is the only one they've got. It's in the United States. It's 36 degrees on track, the ambient 21. We're at 11:44 local server time on May 15, 2025. Championship, top four covered by 50 points at the moment, but the top battle between second and fourth is only 3 points the difference. Sam Chapman, Chris Noble, Reece Gosner, Jeff Adams, Braden Sagasta, the top five at the moment, and Atsushi Osafune in sixth. Reece Gosner, Nick Wood, the front row. Chris Noble, John Merritt, the second row here. Dan Yeaman back on the GSRC grid. Nice to see alongside Braden Sagasta, third row. Brett Barker, Aaron Russell, fourth row. Guy Leach, Atsushi Osafune from the fifth row. Dylan Shepard, Jeff Adams, the sixth. Michael Adams, Eduardo Zamora, the seventh. Sam Sproul, Adam Proctor, the eighth. No Sam Katakazinas, Jake McLean, or Mitchell McLeod at this particular point. Disappointing, actually, in McLeod's instance after a good showing at the Yokohama International Circuit last week. I'm Zach Caban, he's Adam Lavis. This is Monday Night Motorsport. It's live, exclusive, and from the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. We've got a three-race program for you tonight. The first of those is here and now. It's a magnificent start from the front row of the grid, from the outside, from Reece Gosner to lead Nick Wood to turn one. This is the last of the sprint rounds of the Mazda MX5 Challenge, the fifth and final sprint round of their campaign. 30 minutes next week, 45 the week after. Then, of course, we get stuck in to the last of the 60-minute races in the GT3 Championship this evening. 60 minutes around the Silverstone circuit in England. Will there be rain at the home of the British Grand Prix? We'll wait and see. It's a big program over the course of the next 3 hours. We hope you can join us for it. As I said, last Monday night of August and winter. Next week, September 1, will be the start of spring for us. And yes, there'll only be 2 championship weeks to go. Rapidly running out of time to make your move in this title race. And as you saw there earlier, second, third and fourth, that battle is red hot. Only 3 points between second, third and fourth. Lap one of what should be, well, we'll wait and see time-wise, but this is a 10-minute race. The second race will be 15 minutes. I'd be somewhat surprised if we don't get any more or less than 6 laps here based on what we saw in qualifying. True, we go for the first time. Good, clean start from the top 6. They remain exactly where they started. I'm a little bit surprised, though, Adam Lavis, at the lack of slipstreaming we've seen so far. But now we're on the main straight here. That may well change. Down we go. End of the first lap. Less than 4 kilometres this circuit. It's one of the underrated gems of the server as far as I'm concerned. And speaking of the server, we need to have a chat during the intermission this evening about the new content on its way to iRacing with the Term 4 build not too far away. Gosner, Wood, Noble, Merritt, Yeaman, the top 5. Sagasta in 6th. Aaron Russell up 1 spot. Brett Barker down 1. That's the only change in the top 10 so far. Good evening to you, Adam Lavis.
Good evening, Zach. Yes, one of the really good tracks around here, especially with these sort of lower horsepower cars. It's just a fun flowing track, and once you get past this little technical section on top of the hill, the run all the way around that last corner, which is I wouldn't say it's technical, but it's tricky because of the wide apex and sort of blindness of the apex and exit. So you got to sort of go in and commit early and hope you've got it right. Otherwise, there's plenty of sand on the outside to meet you. And if you do that, that's going to ruin your run all the way down the big long straight, which is slightly uphill, to make your life even harder in a low horsepower car.
Have a look at John Merritt. Just sitting there, waiting patiently on the tail of Chris Noble at the moment. Now he makes his move. No, he tucks back in. Watch them come around onto the main straight. Noble deep under brakes, trying to set himself up for the run onto the main straight. Full throttle through here across the start-finish line we go. So just having a look at the times there. We might actually be on track for 7 laps here, just having a look at the times. I didn't get a good enough look at the qualifying run sheet, as you might have realised, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, 1:28.324. I was thinking it was a little bit slower than that, but no. With 1 minute 28 That makes it really easy because it'll be 7 laps no change for the opening race, and you'll probably you'll be lucky if you don't get 11 laps in the second race, because remembering 10 times 90, right? 90 seconds being a minute and a half. Aaron Russell off the road. That's unfortunate. Down to 17 he goes. Only 17 starters tonight. Sam Katakazinas was the last of those joining the grid late in the piece. Michael Adams now showing off the road. Aaron Russell's going to pit lane. Sam Katakazinas moves up to 14. 2 battle packs at the moment. This one first through 8th, and the second one is Dylan Shepherd all the way down to Adam Proctor.
Oh, he's done a motor.
Aaron Russell's done a motor. Can you believe that? He's done a motor on the opening lap in a Mazda MX5.
Yeah, so he's money shifted into turn 1, and it's got around to turn 2 and then let go.
He'll reset and hopefully be able to go again in Heat 2 a little bit later on. Watch him charging through from 17th on this grid. And this was Michael Adams. Did he get some help? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think he got a couple of bump drafts there from Dylan Shepherd through the corner. Probably wasn't ideal.
We know that Shep's a hard, aggressive, forceful sort of racer.
Oh, Johnny Merritt's got through.
I'm not entirely surprised by that. That was Guy Leach out in the weeds. And Sagasa down on the inside of Yeaman. Guts by into 5th. Noble has been passed by John Merritt, as Adam Lavis quite rightly pointed out. 127.923 for Brett Barker, the fastest lap of the race so far. So with those 27s, remembering 10 laps, a minute and a half a lap would be 15 minutes on the nose. We're going sub 90 seconds at the moment, so money's on 11 laps for the second race tonight, unless we get a safety car or something uncompromising. Brett Barker on fire at the moment, but he's boxed in behind Yeaman, Sagasa, Noble, Merritt. Didn't take long for Guy Leach to catch back up. We ride with Reece Gosner. Vitally important for him to get back on track this week. Been a hit-miss couple of weeks for him in the Mazda MX5 Challenge. 4th, 1st, 16th, 2nd, 5th, 25th, 20th, 11th, 3rd and 8th. His finishing results so far. Needs to stabilise and find his way to the top 10 in both races tonight, because the problem they've got is Sam Chapman, right? Now, I haven't called Chapman's name yet tonight. He's not out there. He's got a buffer to play with. So he will drop this round. But he's only going to get 20 back. It might just be enough to keep him at the top of the leaderboard this week, but I wouldn't be able to guarantee that I'd be able to say the same if he's not here next week. In the meantime, that was Nick Wood having a look on Reece Gosner. Couldn't get through. John Merritt, Chris Noble. They were all tucking in and following at the moment. Content to do so. There's no real inner squabbling going on just yet.
So look, it looks like
Give it a couple of laps, though. Give it a couple of laps, Adam. This is lap 5. I reckon we get to 7.
So it looks like a lot of them are playing a little bit of cat and mouse in this next straight down the hill here. But it also...
Braden Sagas is off the road, mate. Braden Sagas is off the road. Drop down to 15th. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, so this after they go to this crest here, this goes straight down to the last corner. It looks like they're playing a bit of cat and mouse, but it also looks like with the way the slipstream is, they're getting the run, but annoyingly at this next right-hand apex. So it makes it a bit easier for, as you see, Gosling comes across, cuts it off, and then they go and do the big long run around this super long last double apex corner, which is obviously causing them to do more Ks, so it's washing their speed off.
Yep. Nick Wood was making the lunge around the outside, but he couldn't get it. It wasn't enough. Round back they go onto the main straight. Wood's in the weeds. That may give John Merritt an opportunity, or Chris Noble. Merritt tucks in behind Gosner, goes to the outside. Noble wants him up on the inside. 3 wide, why not? Gosner quickly got a course to cover off Chris Noble, and Merritt around the outside of Noble as well. He was on the inside momentarily at Gosner. The ladder slammed the door shut firmly in Hot Lap's face, and now Chris Noble right around the outside of the pair of them at turn 2. What about that move from Noble? Can he consolidate and cover it off? No. Gosner will get him back. Merritt's there. Wood on his inside. This is all to play for, and now Chris Noble finds his way to the front. Off goes Nick Wood, and Dan Yeaman caught up inadvertently in that garbage. It's a racing 3 at the front. Brett Barker will try and make a late run. Guy Leach as well. A lap and a half to go at Willow Springs. And Guy Leach is now off the road as well. Had 2 wheels in the dirt. Throwing everything at it to try and catch back up to Brett Barker. Dylan Shepard's got up to 6th spot. Jeff Adams, Sam Sproul. Sam Karakazinas inside the top 10. Atsushi Osafune currently in the invert position in 10th, exactly where he started. Noble to the outside, Merritt to the inside, Gosner in the middle. Back to the main straight, white flag flies this time. One more time around. Don't rule out Brett Barker here. Watch Noble to the outside of Merritt, to the inside of Gosner. Gosner doesn't know who to defend more. He ends up going hard left to the inside and says to Chris Noble that if you want to get by me, you've got to put pedal to the metal and go the long way around. Not quite. Barker's in this, Leach isn't at the moment. Barker's latched onto the tail of Merritt. Merritt follows Noble through. Reese Gosner leading from the front. Osafune's got by Katakazinas. Katakazinas on track for an invert pole. The only car in the field that hasn't changed position from where they started is the man at the front, Reese Gosner. But does this set up the narrative for the second race? Is it going to be increasingly difficult to overtake over 15 minutes? And therefore, will that dictate how things might play out? Will it be determined by incidents? Or hard, forceful, aggressive driving? Gosner's got to run. A third of a lap to go. Merritt to the outside of Noble. John Merritt all the way around. Noble barely keeping it on the road. Almost out of room. On the inside. Round they come. Main straight. Checkered flag. Drag race is on. Merritt's in the dirt. Move back across. Here comes Barker with a late run. Gosner's got it. Gosner's won it again. Merritt gets hit to the post by Guy. Brett Barker third. Chris Noble fourth. Sideways across the line. Dylan Shepard. Jeff Adams was sixth. Dylan Shepard, Sam Sproul, Atsushi Osafune, and Sam Katakazinas. The top 10. That was the incident for Braden Sagasta. Took too much curb, was lucky not to take Dan Yeaman with him. Yeaman ended up compromised a little bit later on. Fell down to 14th. And it was that incident there with Nick Wood. They end up interlocked. Holy cow. How good was that? We've got a 2-minute warm-up ahead of us here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have a look at those results for you in just a tick. A reminder, GT3 from Silverstone still to come. We do it with thanks to Waste Options, Trophy AI, Pentec Industries, Sprite Insider, merch.tgsrci.com, and Flash Graphics. Reese Gosner, 0.13 the margin in the end. He joins Sam Chapman and also, I want to say, Harry Lawrence as a double-up winner in this series so far. Remember, neither of those two gentlemen on the grid tonight. And that now we only have, that's 12 races gone, still 9 different winners because we've now got 3 with the double-up. Gosner hasn't won since Brands Hatch race 1. He gets his second win of the season. Noble, Barker, Leach, Merritt, Adams, Shepard, Sproul, Osafune, and Katakazinas, the top 10. Sam had a shocking run in qualifying, but now he's going to lead the field to green. Extraordinary. Not sure how we top that, Adam Lavis. The Mazdas have been delivering the goods on a Monday night. I mean, only topped by Formula V, in my opinion, but I am a little bit biased in that instance. But great racing. You could tell the boys were putting everything on the line, using all the road and a little bit more. 2 wheels in the dirt for John Merritt coming onto the main straight. In fact, I think it was all 4. Merch.tgsrci.com, ladies and gentlemen, for all your GSRC paraphernalia. Race.tgsrci.com to get involved in everything we do here across Facebook and YouTube, all the broadcast action. If you want to get out there and go racing and you've got the infrastructure at your end in order to do so, be it the iRacing platform, then, yeah, get in touch with the club. Get in touch with the club and we'd love to have you on the grid. Thoughts on that, Adam? I thought that was terrific.
Yeah, some good racing there. As I said, I think there was a bit of cat and mouse in that race, but now that was with the fast guys at the front. Now the fast guys aren't at the front, so they're going to need to push themselves forward. So we might see a little bit more use of the slipstream rather than saving it for the last couple of laps. So there might be a little bit more on the line in this race. We'll have to wait and see if that is correct. So hopefully they can do it cleanly and stay in a pack and keep the excitement for the whole race and keep you entertained. But we'll see how we go.
Doesn't take much to keep me entertained, mate. We found that out many occasions over the last 5 years here on the platforms of the GSRC. Sam Katakazinas and Atsushi Osafune for Sukiyaki Racing at the front row of the grid. And the one performance duo of Sam Sproul and Dylan Shepard. Jeff Adams for Subpar, John Merritt for Pulse Tuning, Guy Leach and Brett Barker, the All Injectors Online Racing entry, 4th row. Chris Noble, Reese Gosner from 5, Zamora, Sagasa, Proctor, Yeaman, Wood, Adams and Russell rounding out the field. And mind you, there are some big names, Russell, Wood, Yeaman, Proctor and Sagasa all trying to get their way back in the top 10 after missing out in race 1. They're off, they're racing. Great start.
Nick Wood stalled it.
Nick Wood stalled it, went nowhere. He's going to be left behind. Goodbye.
I think it's more he didn't put it in gear, so he's going to want to hope that this field just spreads out enough for him to get back onto the toe.
Yep. Going to be easier said than done. The margin's already 3 seconds. Through we go. Wait, there he is right now. And the leader is already at turn 2. So Sam Katakazinas, Sam Sproul, Dylan Shepard, and Jeff Adams, I'm pretty sure, are all names I haven't mentioned as race winners so far this season in the Mazda MX5s.
Jeffrey got a little touch from Johnny through the corner there. Got a little wobble on, but he's managed to keep it going.
He's got 4 top 5 finishes to his name so far this season, Jeff Adams. 2 thirds and 2 fifths. Up around the outside was Chris Noble. Contact and gone. There it is. Atsushi Osafune into Braden Sagasa. Reese Gosner did well to avoid him. Michael Adams cleaned him up.
Michael Adams, yeah, might know where to go there.
Oh, boy. So there's the first one. And poor old Atsushi Osafune unable to convert a front row start into anything special. It did help Nick Wood out, though. If you're looking for a silver lining and all of that, Adam Lavis.
Yeah, he's back
back on the train.
He's back on the back of the toe. So he's now going to find a way to move his way forward before this pack breaks up.
Problem for John Merritt is he's already lost the toe to Dylan Shepard. Hopefully he'll reel that back in down the main straight. Here we go. Across the start-finish line. We're single file for the moment. We expect it to warm up. Katakazinas, Sproul, Shepard, Merritt, Adams the top 5, Guy Leach, Eduardo Zamora the top 7, and Brett Barker in 8th spot at the moment. Braden Sagasa, Daniel Yeaman in behind that. Dylan Shepard's got by Samuel Sproul. That was the incident again. Chris Noble had to take evasive action. He does lose out in all of that quite comfortably because he's dropped down to 12 behind Reese Gosner, and Dan Yeaman up 4 spots. Poor old Atsushi Osafune had nowhere to go. Michael Adams on the tow rope. He's not done. Look at this. 3-2, Wushka. The old Swedish colours on the flag, on the Swedish flag colours on the car of that Atsushi Osafune, I should say.
Hey, Ross has done well to miss this.
He's done very well. Well played, Aaron Russell. Up 4 spots for him as well. Him and Yeaman and Eduardo Zamora, the biggest movers so far. Dylan Shepard and John Merritt have gained 3 spots apiece. Here goes Shepard around the outside. Katakazinas on the inside. And John Merritt's right there with them as well. Whoa! Drift work 101 from Dylan Shepard. Somehow he kept it on the racetrack and kept the boot into it. He's going to drop a bunch of spots, but he didn't throw it away completely. Katakazinas and Merritt will lead us to the line.
So from bad to worse for Osafune. Looks like he's got a speeding penalty as he went going to fix his his meatball. So he's got a drive through as well. On top of that, now he's left down.
Oh yeah, very unlucky for Atsushi Osafune. Have a look at the pack racing here. This is awesome stuff. Merritt's going to get his way to the front. Now, we've mentioned John Merritt sporadically throughout the course of this season so far. Nice to see him having a run in the Mazda MX5 Gallon. In fact, if I have a look down here, I think this might actually be hot lap debut in the series. I can't see him on my leaderboard anywhere.
It's his first night in the MX5 this season.
Yeah, copy. Yeah, no, that's. We've mentioned him sporadically, like in Super Formula or Formula Ford or Formula V, but nice to see him in the Masters for a change.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it was a spontaneous decision, given he's still running the old livery, the new one.
Correct. He might want to get to work on the new one once this race is done.
I think Cito's in charge of their liveries.
Copy. Round we go onto the main straight. Katakizinas keeps the boot into it. Chases John Merritt. Merritt in the tow at the moment. Merritt in control of the race in the lead. Dylan Shepherd, we're right on board with him. He's dropped down to 6th spot, having got back by Brett Barker and Dan Yeaman, but now under pressure here. Trying to keep Barker at bay and trying to get by Jeff Adams. Sam Sproul sitting 4th at the moment. Guy Leach is 3rd. Shepherd, no, he can't go to the inside. The door's firmly closed. Adams is up there on the inside, trying to get by Sproul. Is that like a farmland livery that...
It's a ice cream, Ben & Jerry's.
Ben & Jerry's, righto. That Sam Sproul's running, very impressive. Millimetres in that, and poor old Dylan Shepherd feels like the road's blocked in front of him. He's got no way through right now. How good was that first race? My goodness. The entire field is still within striking distance, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa! The entire field is covered by 4.4 seconds at the moment. Sushi Osasune, Michael, obviously out of business. Dylan Shepherd's gone, and it's going to wipe a few out. Mid-pack carnage and drama. Chris Noble took to the dirt. Aaron Russell, Brett Barker, Dylan Shepherd. We've had our big one. And that is a gift to John Merritt, Guy Leach, and Sam Katakizinas.
Shepherd's come out worse. He got a meatball out of that, so he's hit a big hit somewhere.
Dylan Shepherd's race has been run. Noble and Russell, a case of what might have been. Nick Wood puts 2 wheels in the dirt.
So Shep's gone wide, got beached on the curb, and then got taken out.
Yep. Bang, bang. Oh. Poor old Chris Noble kept the boot into it. I don't think he actually... No, he didn't spin at all. He just went horribly wide off the circuit. Dylan Shepherd. A replay of that again for you. Off the circuit, the rejoin was the problem. Yep. And, oh, jeez. What about the hit that Brett Barker copped? First on scene. Because by that point, Shepherd's out of complete control. He's got no control. He's doing Tony Hawk stuff on the ripple strips. Grinding the ripple strips. Watch that. Oh. Bang. Poor Brett Barker. Aaron Russell had nowhere to go. No luck at all. Sam Sproul's now off the road too. A pack of 3 at the front. And then Adams, Sagasa, Zamora, Gosner and Wood. Yeaman's under pressure from Proctor and Noble. Top 10 places on the line there.
Just by himself. Yeah, just lost the rear.
Yep. Lost it the right way to the left, and then it flicked him back to the right.
And then the problem...
into no man's land.
That's the problem with Willow Springs. When you go off a long way.
Through we go again. Noble, the fastest lap of the race, 127.995 on the comeback trail. Still that top 10, 11 now, only covered by 6 seconds, but it's the gaps that are the problem. The gap from 3rd to 4th, the gap from 5th to 6th, they're the issues. If we can eradicate them somehow, we'll be in for a hell of a finish here. Off goes Reese Gosner. That might open up the door potentially for Nick Wood. Gosner kept the boot into it, but he did drop a little bit of time, and now he's getting pushed along by Nick Wood.
Yeah, they did the same thing in the last race, but they did the same thing in the last race to try and keep themselves at the front of the group. Now they go do the same thing to get themselves back to the group.
Yep. That gap now out to 1.8 seconds between them as a result of that. And now we've got 2 packs because Adams and Sagasta have reduced the deficit. Adams is within the tow range now. He'll get helped along here onto the tail of Sam Katakazinas in no time. Here is Guy Elite. Having a look, John Merritt lead them through. 6 laps down, 5 still to run.
Now A-Russ has done the pit lane penalty situation.
Yep.
It is easy to do here because it is a very... the pit entry comes on you real fast out of the last corner.
He's just towed, so I dare say Aaron Russell's going to be retiring this time through. The mechanical black flag showing next to his name now as well. So Aaron Russell's night is done. Brett Barker is the last of the runners on the circuit at the moment. Atsushi Osafune is 2 laps down. Sorry, 1 lap down. My apologies. 2 laps down. Samuel Sprouse out of the race. So too Dylan Shepard and Michael Adams.
My guess is A-Russ probably showed a wall what he thought of the black flag.
I'd say so. It's just gone from bad to worse for him. See, he's picked up all right he's picked up okay in the Formula Vs where he left off before he went to Bali. But livery was supplied. Thank you, Glenn Cito. Get a replay of that from Mez Sim Racing. That'd be Mez. Is that Simon Mesimo? I'm not sure. 7:52, so a couple of minutes ago. We did show replays of the incident. I hope that's what you were talking about. John Merritt to the inside, defends Guy Leach. Sam Katakazinas in there behind, and we're still on the cusp of actually not getting an 11th lap at the moment. The times may not allow us to do so. Pace just not there with them at the moment. We'll see.
I'm assuming the track's a little hotter because they haven't quite dipped into the 27s this race.
That's right. Actually, what are those conditions, please? G'day, mate. It's good to have you on board, mate. Thank you. 12:31 in the afternoon, so no dangerous sunset or anything like that. Hello to our audience in Queensland. They know what an early sunset's all about. 21 degrees the ambient and 38 on track. Winds northerly, 27 kilometres an hour. That's a blustery northerly. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, 38 degrees the track temp. Whew. John Merritt leads, doing a very nice job of it. It's a top 5 fight because Braden Sagasta's latched on, so too is Jeff Adams. Now, Nick Wood's under pressure from Eduardo Zamora, Adam Proctor, Chris Noble and Dan Yeaman, but he's first got to try and get by Reece Gosner. Reece Gosner's the leader of that second train. So the top train is 5, the second train is 6, the bar far between them is 2.6. If I'm making sense of all of that for you, well, we're doing a better job than I thought. Brett Barker, 12th. Atsushi Osafune a lap down. Then you go back to Aaron Russell, who's out of business. Sam Sprout, Dylan Shepard, Michael Adams, they've already exited stage left, headed to the GT3 server. Here's John Merritt defending on the inside. Katakazinas holding on around the outside. Nearly had 2 wheels in the dirt. Sagasta around the outside of Jeff Adams. Not yet. Not yet. There may well be, Adam Lavis, keep an eye on it. There may well be a white flag in the air this time by.
I was just checking if the northerly breeze helped us to the slipstream, but this is one of the rare occasions where the track map is basically orientated to the north.
Yep.
So
correct.
It's sort of more of a crosswind on both the big straights.
And of course, well, actually, to be fair, once they get out of this left-hander here and then the next right-hander, once they get out of that right-hander that John Merritt's approaching, now there goes Katakazinas into the weeds. The rejoin's going to be interesting. He's okay, but he drops to 5th. And the hard yards, the hard work that's been done has been brought undone by a simple mistake. But once they got out of that right-hander, it's basically open throttle all the way around. Little lift on the brakes and then accelerate hard into the main straight. This is what happened to Eduardo Zamora. Oh, poor old Dan Yeaman can't take a trick tonight. He got clipped there and Eduardo's gone straight into the banking.
It's broken his resuspension.
Yeah.
That was a very soft...
He's done.
That is a very soft hit and unlucky for Ed.
Agreed. Did we get a white flag from Barney? We may well have done so.
Yeah,
yes.
He's
only going to get to 10.
Limp-wristed, waving at the flag.
We're only going to get, that is pathetic, isn't it? We're only going to get it in 10 laps, and John Merritt's gone to the lead here. So he's looking for his first race win of the season. Guy Leach has something to say about that. Of course, he already has a race win to his name this season as well. He can sniff another one in the offing here. What can Braden Sagasa and Jeff Adams do? Can Jeff Adams muster up his third top three finish of the season? More importantly, his first win. He's up on the inside of Leach. Merritt was sideways, did well to get away with that. Still drifting through. Keep the boot into it, John Merritt. Half a lap away from victory. Guy Leach, Jeff Adams, Braden Sagasa, Sam Katakazinas has got back to fifth and is right on the tail of these blokes. There goes John Merritt, helped by Guy Leach. Unbelievable. Wild ride through the desert for John Merritt, and now it's Jeff Adams and Braden Sagasa side by side, and Sagasa with two wheels in the dirt. Katakazinas up on the inside of Adams. Three of them fighting for it. Sagasa now four wheels in the dirt, and Katakazinas into Jeff Adams. Can you believe this? Braden Sagasa will come back to the line and take the checkered flag and victory provisionally in race 2 of round 8 of the championship of the Mazda MX5. Noble a late launch, no Costa held on for third, and they're wrecking all over the place. That's Dan Yeaman in the wall on the left-hand side of screen. Bloody hell!
His steering's broken. He can't get the face the right way to get to the line.
They've saved the fireworks until the very last lap. What the hell was that? We have our 10th different race winner of the season, but I want to stress provisionally. We need to go back and have a look at all of that. Katakazinas got into Jeff Adams. I think Braden's okay. I don't think Braden had any role in any of this. If he's had a clean run through here, he'll hold the win.
So it's definitely a touch there with Guy Leach.
Now Jeff Adams here as well. He's gone by on Jeff Adams and done so cleanly. He'll hold that win. It's a contact here from Katakazinas. Bang, watch this, gone. See you later, Jeff Adams. See, the race control may not view favourably on Braden Sagasa having four wheels in the dirt and keeping the boot into it, but really...
He got a touch from Katakazinas was swim there. So that might be it. That may actually allow that.
And if that's the case, Adam Lavis, 10th different winner of the season in the Mazda MX5 Challenge. My goodness. Waste options are getting their value for money here on a Monday night. Sponsoring that series, and GT3 as well. See, this is why we love coming to Willow Springs, ladies and gentlemen. We've had some cracking GT4 racing there in the past. Now, an absolute perler of Mazda MX5 outing. More of that, please. Unbelievable. Sagasa by 0.3 over Nick Wood. Reece Gosner in for third. A very good night for Reece Gosner. A big up for him as far as his championship's concerned.
I reckon if you told Reece and Noble that they'd get third and fourth after the earlier incident in the race, they wouldn't believe you.
No, they'd be telling you to jump. They'd be saying you're having a tremendous pull of it. They wouldn't have believed you. Sam Katakazinas, what could have been a potential win, ended up being fifth, but I reckon he's got an invoice coming his way. Adam Proctor in for sixth. That may well become fifth. Guy Leach, Jeff Adams, then Daniel Yeaman got it across the line eventually. Brett Barker at Sushi Osafune a lap down. John Merritt couldn't get it to the line after going through the weeds. He finishes a lap down as well. He'll finish 12th. Eduardo Zamora, Aaron Russell, Sam Sproul, Dylan Shepherd, Michael Adams, all on the retirement list. Russell didn't complete 75%. Zamora did, but he wasn't in the server when the race concluded. He'd already exited stage left.
He's only 2 laps down, so you might get the lucky clause there.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, don't you have a clause about being in the server at the end?
Yeah, that's generally, but also there's a sub clause in that if you're only 2 laps down, 75%? If you're at 75%, then you're going to be classified as a runner, so that means you're still in the server. But but if you're disconnected within 2 laps of the end of the race, I usually let it go because that saves it if there's under an 8-lap race, because you're only 1 lap down, you're out. So I usually let 2 laps be sort of the minimum.
Copy that. So, yeah, there's a little bit of paperwork to be done and a little bit of an excuse me. Sorry, just had something go down the wrong tube. There's a little bit of analytical work and number crunching and whatever else to be done by Adam Lavis post-race there. Unbelievable. Such great drama in this series. Braden Sagasa, can you believe it? The top four still finished within a second of one another. No, that's top five, actually. In amongst all of that garbage, the top five still finished within a second of one another. You're watching some highlights of it now, ladies and gentlemen. Braden Sagasa's got his first race win of the Mazda MX5 series. He's the 10th different race winner of the season on a night where Sam Chapman won't be terribly disappointed about not being on the grid, because usually when there's carnage, he's involved in it in some way, shape or form. Chris Noble, that's a lucky escape. The round's probably going to Reece Gosner. Sagasa was up 11 from 12th to 1st. Nick Wood from 15th to 2nd, up 13. Oh, boy. So, race control is going to analyse all of that final lap, judging by some of the reports that are coming through on our earpiece. But what about that for Braden Sagasa? Including a Blinky Bill moment there, partway through the opening stages of it. Madness, carnage, you name it, we had it tonight in the Mazda MX-5s. Poor old Dan Yeaman. He could not take a trick. He got biffed and barged all over the place from pillar to post. It was just extraordinarily bad luck for him. Atsushi Osafune caught up early in the piece. John Merritt sent exit stage left. I mean, credit to, I think it was Brett Barker, wasn't it, that tried to redress that. And in the end, Barker's finished in 10th. Just extraordinary. No one in here to have a chat with us just at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. So we might leave the highlights running for you. If anyone jumps back in here to have a chat to us, we will jump in and chew the fat. But don't forget, very shortly, we'll be changing servers. We'll be heading to Silverstone in the United Kingdom to round 8 of Waste Options GT3 Pro. Our last look at the Pro Series before the season finale in a couple of weeks, remembering that next week we have our fourth and final sprint round of the series in that campaign from the Nürburgring in Germany. Race 1 will be from the AM Split, Race 2 from the Pro-Am, and then, of course, we will have race 9, round 9, race 14 of the series for the Mazda MX-5s from the Nürburgring as well. There you go. It's a Nürburgring double next Monday night. How good's that? So, Nürburgring double next Monday night. It's the first time this season that we've had a double up at the venues from Waste Options, Mazda MX-5s to Waste Options GT3. That was Aaron Russell's launching of the motor that you saw in the background there. Well done to Braden Sagasa. Too good. Survived the carnage on the final lap. My voice box didn't, however. I'm going to go rest that. Back with GT3 for you very shortly, ladies and gentlemen. What a season we're having in the Mazda MX-5s. 10 different race winners in 13 races. And anybody's guess as to what that means for the championship fight. We're back with GT3 from the Silverstone circuit in England in just a few moments. Monday Night Motorsport for the final time in August and winter for 2025 in the Southern Hemisphere, at least on the platform. Gentlemen's Racing Club live, exclusive and free across Facebook and YouTube. Welcome along to the second part of our Monday night doubleheader. A cracking finish to the second race of the Mazda MX5 to accompany a cracking finish in the first race, quite frankly, at the Willow Springs International Raceway. Now we descend upon a wet, soon to be dry, and then potentially wet again, Silverstone circuit in the United Kingdom for the fourth last race, the third last round of Waste Options GT3 series, the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit configuration, what we use for the Formula One race these days, and have a look at the updated championship points in the Mazdas before we go and focus on GT3, ladies and gentlemen. There it is, 282 for Sam Chapman, Reese Gosner, 273, 261 for Chris Noble, and 251 for Jeff Adams. Braden Sagassa, unfortunately, that 13th in race one has cost him, because he has dropped out of the title contention fight there. He's now 57 points behind Chapo, who somehow holds on to his points lead, despite Reese Gosner nearly pocketing as many points as were on the table tonight. That was a great fight back from him. Further back, Guy Leach, Atsushi Osafune, Brett Barker, Nick Wood, and Aaron Russell with a double not classified make up the top 10. Shocker of a night for Aaron. He didn't have room or margin for error there, considering that he's already burnt some drop rounds along the way. Now, poor old Dan Yeaman. I feel a bit sorry for our mate Yeaman. He's got 5 safety license penalty points in one hit. 2 in race 1, 3 in race 2. He's had a shocker of a night in the Mazda MX-5s as Dan Yeaman. I'm not sure we'll see him pop up there again next term. Cars out on the circuit now for the 5-minute warm-up here at the Silverstone circuit on a dry circuit. Now, you saw it earlier in the day. We were in qualifying mode. The track was wet. Now it's dry. But we're reliably informed that there's rain on the radar for the race this afternoon. 12:15 local server time. August 24, 2025, 22-kilometre-an-hour winds, 271, 270. So that's a westerly wind for you in the 22-kilometre-an-hour range. 20 degrees the ambient, 30 on track. Partly cloudy for now, but 78% humidity would suggest that we're in for some precipitation this afternoon. This is a 5.8-kilometre circuit. It hosts the British Formula One and MotoGP Grand Prix each year, and it is one of the great spectacles in world motorsport when we bring top-tier, top-shelf motor racing to this venue.
Unlike Virginia, it is actually coming.
Yes. 100% at 1:15 and also right through till about 4:15 this afternoon, Adam.
Well, remember, Virginia had the percentages on our time, but this time we actually have rain on the radar. So it's not being pushed away like that. We had that glitch. So this time I've got the settings hopefully correct. So it'll be interesting. So I think the race is scheduled where we got now. So the warm-up was 12:15, so the race started at 12:30. So what are we looking at? So basically about 2/3 to 3/4 of the way into the race. It might cause a headache for some of these guys.
Could well indeed. 1:15 is when that rain is expected to land. So, keep an eye out on that, because that could play a big part in dictating how the second round of pit stops plays out. 2:58 for Sean Campbell, still the leader of the pack. We haven't seen him for weeks. Harrison Lillis, 2:41, should take the championship lead tonight. He is on the grid. Richard Mitchum, if Lillis doesn't, should do on 2:36. Don't rule out Ryan Bettison, the Porsche, on 2:33. A little bit of a gap then back to Sam Sutton, 194. Miles Burgess, 189, 165 for Wayne Hewitt, 162 for Josh Fitt, 160 for Jacob O'Reilly, and 149 for Eli Donaldson. Make up the top 10, 109 covers first through 10th. You've got a Chev at the top of the range there. You've got a BMW in 9th place, 3 McLarens, a Porsche, and 4 Fords along the way. Cars out on the circuit, getting acquainted with it in dry weather mode, but not for very long. They will start the 60 minutes on dries. They will likely finish it on the best wet weather tyre at their disposal, because what looks as though we're in for is a monsoon, ladies and gentlemen. And we know when it rains, it absolutely pours and floods. We saw that at Zandvoort and the Porsches earlier in the season. So let's wait and see what we're in for.
We'll have to have a look. Once we switch to the rain server, that rain will progress in the radar. Then because at the moment we're just in the edge of it, so it's just green at the moment. If we get some yellow or red in there, then we know it's monsoon coming.
Now, Dan Yeaman's out there. He's going to burn from the stern. That's known. That's fact. We got a very high presence of Ford Mustangs tonight. We've, of course, got the Porsche of Ryan Bettis. We've got the Mercedes of Shane Clancy. Danny Davison represents Chevrolet. Daniel Cheney represents Ferrari. The BMW is being represented by Daniel Edmonds, who was on screen a few moments ago. The McLaren's by Jared Knight, and then some more. And even there's a Lambo out there tonight in the form of Samuel Sproul, if he takes to the grid for the race, that is. So, count them: Porsche, Ford, Lambo, McLaren, Mercedes, BMW, Ferrari, Chevrolet, and that is it. Oh, Porsche. No, I've already mentioned Porsche. So, what are we missing? We're missing Audi and Acura. We're missing just Audi and Acura tonight. And it's interesting to note as well, to note that the A's will have more company next term on the platforms of the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club. And the reason we say that, ladies and gentlemen, I want Adam Lavis's thoughts on this as well. Last Thursday night, we went to bed. We woke up early hours Friday morning with news from iRacing confirming that the home of the Mexican Formula One Grand Prix, the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, is going to join the server. It's the newest track content being dropped in Season 4. GT4 finally gets the Ford Mustang, and GT3 in return finally gets the Aston Martin. So we're going to have 6 manufacturers to play with in GT4 and 11 in GT3, mate. When you saw that content drop, what stood out for you?
Oh, both those cars are going to be good. We've only been talking about the Mustang and GT4s for over 12 months now, so better late than never, but it'll be interesting to see how she goes.
Indeed it will be. Rightio, race mode engaged. Now, there's the rain slowly creeping through on the radar. I can see some yellow in there, Adam.
Yeah,
there's definitely some yellow in there.
Yeah, there is some, so it could be a bit scattery, so being towards the end of the race, we may see people try and gamble on slicks. That could be dangerous.
Yeah, Ryan Bettis is already being thrown under the bus. Great that his missus let him race tonight. What Liber089 is saying is that Ryan Bettis doesn't wear the pants in his house. It's yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, 3 bags full, ma'am. Harrison Lewis, Richard, front row here, Reese Wakefield. Bettis, the second row. Shane Clancy and Mark Hilley from the third row. Danny Davison, Daniel Cheney, Sam Sutton, and Daniel Porton make up the top 5 rows on the grid. The times in the wet, 2:09, the benchmark there, I think you saw in qualifying from Harrison Lewis. Bradley Ratu had a late charge on Friday night at Le Mans in the GT Pro Invitational round. He starts alongside Nick Wood on row 6, Daniel Evans and Dane Snadden from 7. From 8, it's Jared Knight and Wayne Hewitt. From 9, James Parker, Dylan Shepard. From 10, Chukwang Wong and Lachlan Cable. From 11, it's going to be David Riddell and Miles Burgess. From 12, McLeod and Andrew Neal. From 13, Daniel Piper, Daniel Yeaman. Although Dave Riddell, Samuel Sproud, Dylan Shepard and Alex Barrelon are not coming up on. But Sproul and Barrelon we knew. But now it looks as though we're down to 24. So there's going to be a few people, I guess, frustrated with the weather and what that entails. And they've decided to take a leave of absence for tonight and let these guys send out. Oh, they're off their racing. Great start, Harrison Lewis. But the problem with the Silverstone circuit is most of these guys are already single file by the time they get to the start line. Great start, Harrison Lewis. Converted pole into an early lead. Richard Mitchum goes with him. There goes Reese Wakefield. Exit stage right. Drama for Wakefield on the opening corner. The Mustang
and
in the way.
Bettis got to slow down, avoiding it.
He did, and he's going to have to serve that on the back straight. And also off the road was Dane Snadden, I think, there momentarily. Yep. Got back on, but sits down in 13th place at the moment. Jared Knight to 14th. Down we go.
And Dave Ruddle got a black flag for passing in before the control line. All happening already.
3 or 4 big incidents, big talking points already. Reese Wakefield joins back of the field. You just caught a glimpse of him there at the top of your screen. So Lewis, Mitchum, Bettis, then Clancy, then Hilly, then Sutton, then Ratu, then Cheney, Poulton and Davis in the top 10.
And also bad news for Chuck and David Riddell on and also Clancy.
There we go.
Yeah, Wong and Riddell have forgot to change tyres at the start of the race, so they're on the wrong one.
And Shepard's rejoined from the back of the grid. Sat on pit lane, changed to dries. Maybe a good move now, but later on he's still probably going to have to change back to the wets. That was Daniel cheating for all but drop there, dropping down to 8th spot in behind Daniel Porter. He's got to slow down to serve as well. Shepard too has to slow down to serve. Well, that's just insult being added to injury, isn't it, on the back of starting from pit lane. So Dave Riddell, go to pit lane and you have to do it twice. Trouble! Dave Stanton's gone. Careful! Oh! How on earth did Daniel Piper and Mitch McLeod miss that? My goodness.
What's coming out safe, Joey? Dane, you do it.
Yeah, Dane Snowden to pit lane, and
yep, there it is.
Drama on the opening lap for everybody at Silverstone. And the issue gets worse for Dave Riddell to Adam Lavis, because the first stop will be to get the tyres fixed. The second stop will be the drive-through, and it'll all happen in the first 3 laps of the race. Riddell's night's done before it even begins. So too Dylan Shepard, you would argue, although Shepard is only... Oh, it's hard to say, really.
He's not far off the back of the group.
He's not far off, no.
He's like, he'd be able to capitalise on people making mistakes. I don't know if he's going to just be able to get him on pace, but like, if anyone has a spin or whatever, he'll be there to capitalise.
He's a good fifth of the lap behind. He's a good fifth of the lap behind the race leader, Harrison Lewis, who has opened up a good margin of 0.8 of a second. There is Nick Wood in 23rd. And Chook Fong Wong still persevering on the wets for some reason. That cannot last long, surely. No, Wood goes straight by.
Shepard's actually a lap down on the field.
No, it will correct itself. It will correct itself. If it was being shown as minus a lap when he started from pit lane, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but the order should correct itself probably this time through, and you'll see Dylan Shepard pop up a little bit into the order, probably somewhere around, I'll say, just ahead of Nick Wood. And in behind Daniel Piper. There he is, top of shot, so he should be 23rd on the racetrack. Sorry, 22nd on the racetrack. The gloves are off early. Miles Burgess trying to have a look down on the inside of Danny Yeaman. Yeaman up 11 spots already. Making hay while the sun shines. Look at him. 1:59.742 for Harrison Lewis, the fastest lap of the race so far. Tricky pit lane entry process here at the Silverstone circuit as well, because it's quicker to go into the pit lane than it is at most circuits. Like, you actually gain time going into the pit entry here. It's a very weird sort of convoluted setup whereby you've got to travel further. Oh, Richard Mitchum's gone. You travel further around the circuit, around the outside of the racetrack, to then go back and start another lap. Richard Mitchum's going to drop down to 8th place after a spin. Let's have a little replay in a moment, Adam Lavis, but Richard Mitchum drops down to 8th. Costly blow, gift to Harrison Lewis and Ryan Bettis. Costly as far as his championship's concerned, because Mitchum was right in the mix.
Too much curve for Wakefield.
Oh, yep, Wakefield. Too greedy with track limits. Dane Snowden. Let's have a look at this. Oh, it was the entropy car that got into the side of him. Oh. Still not sure how everybody missed that. Snowden car coming back onto the racetrack. Watch Mitchell McLeod. Watch this. 3, 2, 1. There's Snowden. There's McLeod. I reckon there was a smidgen of contact, but that's it. Dane Snowden off the road. Dylan Shepard has now corrected to being on the lead lap, and he's sitting 22nd as we predicted. Dave Riddell's got back out there. That's Richard Mitchum's spin, and it proved to be very costly for him. Dave Riddell has now stopped twice, once for the drive-through and once for the stop and hold, which ended up being, and the change to dry tyres, which ended up being 62 seconds, I might add, as well. He sits 25th. Dane Snowden still coming round. 1:36.62 for his stop and hold, and he's changed to dry tyres, and fast repair, and he comes back out on the track in 26th position and is a lap down. Chuk Fung Wong now into pit lane. Dane Snadden on the tow rope and back to pit lane. So what the hell's going on there, I'm not sure. Harrison Lillis, Daniel Cheney being muscled out of it right now. This race is going to get very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. It's lively at the moment. Harrison Lillis, Sam Sutton, Mark Hilly, Bradley Ratu, Daniel Courtney, Richard Mitchum and Lachlan Capel all representing Ford tonight. The BMW of Daniel Edmonds is up 4 spots into the 10. The Chev of Denny Davison up 1 spot into 6th. And the Porsche of Ryan Bettis up 2 spots into position number 2. Everything else is FORD at the moment. It's quite fitting because I've got to pay tribute to a Ford fan at the end of the podcast, so I hope you can stay tuned for that. But Lillis leads the Ford charge. There's a question mark over Lachlan Cable. We don't think that he's in the same manufacturer that he was first time round in this series. He had a strong run too the other night in the GT Pro Invitational at the circuit that looks soft. Good to see him now having a run at sprint mode here. Dan Yeaman up 11 spots already. Capel up 10. They're the big movers of the race thus far. But Yeaman did not settle up, and that's the difference. Cheney's dropped to 13th from the top 10. He started 8th. Richard Mitchum's down 6 spots. So mistakes are proving to be costly very early here. 1:59.369 for Harrison Lillis is the fastest lap of the race.
Slowdown seemed to be the talk of the town so far. Lots of yellow flags in our timing tower tonight.
Burgess, another one for Riddell. Riddell's got to be careful because incident points are going to trip him up shortly if he's not careful.
Well, there is an odd thing with iRacing. There are some slowdowns, they'll give you a slowdown, but they don't trigger an off-track. So iRacing figure the slowdown's enough of a penalty so you actually get away with it sort of thing.
Yeah, that's fair. Wouldn't it? Yeah, it'd be double insult to injury, wouldn't it, if that wasn't the case. Denny Davison around the outside trying to fend off a challenge of Daniel Poulton. Does so for the moment, and Mitchum gets up on the inside of Poulton. Well, that's very nicely done from Mitchum back to 7th. The charge continues. Watch him when it starts tipping down at about half an hour's time. He'll be the man to watch. On the comeback trail, Poulton, Mitchum side by side. Next target is Davison. After that, it's Bradley Ratu, then Mark Hilly, then Sam Sutton. All drop there. 1, 3, 4, and 5 at the moment. Their best run in a while. Yeaman in 14th, Cheney in 13th. So it's the Orbit Drop Bear League with a few ring-ins, really. There's 6 of them on the grid tonight. 1:59.21, the leader, Harrison Lillis, his fastest lap of the race. Lowered again that benchmark. Good time to be a sports fan, ladies and gentlemen, especially if you work from home. Weekday, live, free-to-air sport, Open Tennis Championships from Flushing Meadows in New York. And Stan and 9 Now and 9 Gem covering that for you from 1 a.m. each morning Eastern Standard Time. So a few Aussies on court tomorrow. Demon Orr on Wednesday morning for his round 1 match, and we'll look to that immensely. Complimenting, of course, an enormous amount of motorsport as well. Here's Lockie Cable in 10th place now. Lillis, Bettis, Sutton, Hilly. And now, will Cable make a move or not? No, not yet.
So
having a good run, no?
Yeah, we saw during that qualifying session there, poor old Lockie Cable, he was trying to set a lap, and every time he tried to get a lap in, someone would give him a bump or put him off track. So he only set a lap right on the deadline, right on the checkered flag. Only got him the 20th, so it'll be interesting if he's got a bit more pace up his sleeve to work his way forward, because he's normally a pretty handy steerer in these things, but also he's not usually in the Mustang too, so this could be a bit of an experiment for him as he makes a move.
Good move up into 9th too. It was clean, it was confident, it was executed nicely by Capel on Daniel Edmonds for DPR Racing. There's another stable that started to have a bit more presence across the platforms, the Gentleman Sim Racing Club this year. Ryan Jones, Andrew Dyson, and of course Daniel Edmonds. Good to see DPR packing a punch with Orbit Drop Bear. Mark Hilly in the grass, in the wacky weed, back onto the racetrack, that drops down to position number 9. might be in trouble. He might actually end up being 10th. There's Daniel Edmonds. He's going to try and get through and capitalise on this until he gets back up to speed and clears the rubbish off his tyres. No, can't do it right now. Good to see a BMW in the top 10, actually. Not enough of that this season as far as I'm concerned. Lillis, Bettas, Sutton, Ratu and Mitchum the top 5. So Mitchum's claw back through the field continues. This was Chuk Fung Wong. Yeah, when it's not your night. Chuk finally surrendered and went to pit lane and grabbed dry tyres. Remember, he's only got to do 2 compulsory pit stops. He burnt 6 minutes of racing there. That was a weird one for Hilly. Will he be able to stretch this out far enough to that transition to wet weather and then not have to stop a third time? Chuk Fung Wong. Mitchum down the inside for fourth on Bradley Ratu. Whoa, runner on the side. Richard Mitchum's only second incident of the night. That one, not self-inflicted. Mitchum drops to 17th as a result of that. Make it 18th. Wakefield goes through on the inside. Mitchum in no man's land at the moment. He'll get a slowdown as a result of rejoining from that far around the racetrack. And Daniel Poulton's gone now as well. Where's the BMW parked? On the left-hand side, I think you'll find, of shot. Poulton has dropped down to position number 21. Wowee. Down 11 spots for Daniel Poulton for One Performance Racing. Let's have a look at it. His teammate Dylan Shepard now into the top 20. This was Mitchum. Oh, jeez. I don't know who's at fault there. That one's an each-way bet, really. Ratu didn't yield on the inside. And, oh, wow, Lachlan Cape.
Well, he was already losing the rear. I think Cape was just holding him.
Cable's just finished him off. The Mitchum Ratu one's very interesting for mine. Here it is, the Cable incident firstly. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, you're right, he was already going. Cable ensured that he kept doing so. And the Ratu incident, let's have a look at this. Now, does Bradley have any room on his right-hand side? I would suggest... to get back out of it, did he have to, is my question. Should he have? Caution being the better part of Valor with regards to how long this race is. The fact that it's not going to be won there and then. How race control adjudicate on that one will be very interesting. Timmy Watson's in race control for us tonight as well. I'm reliably informed. And Lee Williamson, good to see Lee back around the club. He's with Scott Jordison in one of the other splits. Don't forget, next week, Nürburgring. So we'll have both the Pro-Am split feature race and the Am split sprint race coming your way. Very excited about both of those. Miles Burgess, 13th right now. Shane Clancy, Daniel Sheen, 19th, I should say, not 14th. Burgess loses out, drops in behind Dylan Shepard. Jared Knight gets by Shane Clancy down the straight. But Clancy's going to have the inside running and go back to 13th. Knighty will try and hang tough around the outside, but no, Clancy's done enough to cover that off. Very nicely done. McLeod now falls behind Shepard as well. Shepard's up to 18th. Shepard's on a charge right around the outside of McLeod. Can he get it done? Up the old main straight to Cops. Brilliant charge around the outside. The straight line poke of the Merc for Dylan Shepard. Got him. Mitchell McLeod's had his fair run in with a few people tonight. It's good to see that he's in the thick of it, enjoying the battle, enjoying the contest. But he might not be enjoying it much longer. That's a magnificent bit of driving, a great move from Miles Burgess down the inside, forceful, got him. Oh, it's an onslaught from OPR on Mitchell McLeod at the moment.
It's not often you see cars this sort of higher echelon of the downforce and pace go side by side through maggots and get away with it.
Yeah, exactly. Normally it blows up in their face. some great racing already here at Silverstone. And what do you reckon the reason is? James Parker to pit lane too, by the way, at 16 minutes, which is early, but who knows when the rain's coming. McLeod had to back out of that one and surrender, concede position to Daniel Poulton. Oh, McLeod's actually on the tow rope, Adam. What's going on here? Mitchell McLeod's parked up and is done. Now, what's that all about? He just pulled up. 5-second penalty for rear contact with car 12 on lap 6 for car 38.
That's Bradley Radu.
Brad Ratu. So that's race control giving him the slap on the wrist for the incident with Richard Mitchell. Isn't it? Yeah. That's a bizarre one for Mitch McLeod. Note the fact that he's retired. Dave Riddell's still out there in the fight. Andrew Neal turned around the wrong way. Dane Snadden out of business. Mitch McLeod, the second retirement of the race. We're down to 24. Dave Riddell's still showing a lap down. Fastest lap of the race, 1:59, 1:31 for Harrison Lewis. Oh, no trouble. The Breeze Wakefield again. Second incident for Wakefield tonight. Now he drops to 18th. The One Performance Racing stable are 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th. And we should soon have rain on the radar.
And second.
Yes, yeah, correct. Ryan Bennett's flying the flag for him in second at the moment. Now, Bradley Radu under pressure from Lachlan Capel. Now, is Capel in any sort of danger of wearing the rough from race control for finishing off the spinning One Performance Racing entry a few moments ago? I would imagine not, but it remains to be seen. Radu to 5th. 5-second penalty hanging over his head. Do you think the threat of the weather and the fact that everybody knows it's coming is one of the reasons why they're so elbows out? This is very unlike these guys in GT3 Pro to be so elbows out this early into a 60-minute race. Richard Mitchell and Miles Burgess to pit lane. So too Daniel Poulton. So too... No, it's just those three. Sorry, I thought I saw a jump into the lane. I did not. Now I have Reece Wakefield.
Well, I think the difference is normally when it's a known dry race, the guys know there's a bit less variables, so they can actually just rely on the pit strategy. But with the rain, given that it's not an exact moment of when it's going to fall, and the fact that one person could win the lottery with picking the right time to go to the pit stop, you need to make your advantages early and make sure you cover yourself for someone else getting a bit more of a lucky rub with the where they are on track when the rain does start to fall.
Indeed. So Ratu in 5th place at the moment, Davis in 6th. Then Daniel Evans, then Mark Hilly, then Wayne Hewitt, then Daniel Yeaman, the top 10, and Yeaman up 16 spots to this point. So too Lachlan Capel up 16 spots. Right. Capel qualified, right? Capel qualified at the death. Yeaman did not. Capel is therefore eligible for the most positions gained. Yeaman not. He'll take the top 10 finish here regardless if he can hold on to it, because it'll compensate what was a shocking run in the other series for him. The Mazda MX5, my goodness. Have a look at that. The flotilla of Mustangs and Denny Davison in the Chev.
So it looks like I think David Riddell's getting his slowdowns by running wide at Cops.
Yep. And Daniel Edmonds, of course, in the BMW. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Mustangs in the top 10. A Porsche, a Corvette, a Chev, and of course, and that's it. That I must say, that is the off-putting thing on our timing screen. We're getting the Corvette logo, not the Chevrolet logo. It is a Chev, but obviously Corvette has its own separate logo within that. And BMW. So 4 different manufacturers in the 10 at the moment, but 70% of it is dominated by the FORD. Dylan Shepard and Andrew Neal to pit lane. Adam.
I think Chevy consider Corvette sort of like their AMG type badge, so it's its own thing, which is probably why it's its own separate logo.
Yeah. Like a cousin or something.
Yeah, like Lexus and Toyota. They're under the same company, but it's a different division. Oh, he's wide.
Oh, that was Denny Davison. Edmonds around the outside will go to 6th.
It was one of the, I think it was Would have been Mark Hilly. Yeah, would have been Mark Hilly was wide in the background, the drop back car.
It's all happening here at the moment, isn't it? We've got an enormous amount of drama and excitement unfolding.
It is interesting how many mistakes these top guys are making. But to be fair, this track is tricky. Like that corner off the Wellington Straight, it is really easy to unsettle the rear as you're balancing the brakes because it's a very long trail braking corner. So it's very easy to get that rear slide. And as we saw with I believe it was Mark Hilly earlier on, once you do get that rear, with the way these GT3s have the ABS and the traction controls and the very limited steering lock they have, it is very easy to have a snap and find yourself in the grass.
So Lewis and Bettis, and Sutton, Capel, Ratu, and Edmonds, Davison, Hewitt there in 8th, Philly and Yame in the top 10. 11 laps gone, 22 minutes gone. We're on pace for 30, but we know we're not getting there because the rain will slow things down when it arrives. Can we have a look at the radar, Adam, just to see where we're up to with that? It is getting darker out there. It's getting cloudier. We know that. Here's the radar.
Oh, big chunk of yellow
coming through. A chunk of yellow.
A chunk of orange coming right for us. That's turning red.
Yep. Exciting. That's going to dump some water on us at a rapid rate. Get ready for this, ladies and gentlemen, because we're not far off that first pit stop window, but the second stop is going to be triggered by when that switchover point arrives.
Which could
hamper
the guys that have gone for the early stop. If the rain doesn't come early enough,
correct,
they may have to do a third stop.
They're screwed. Yep, absolutely. This is a season-defining night. We mentioned that in the preview on Facebook earlier in the day. It is a season-defining night for the likes of, well, Sean Campbell. What the bloody hell has he been? He's had 3 DNSs to his name so far this season. He's won 4 races and finished 3rd in the only other round he's contested. But we haven't seen it. So this will be appearance number 4, or non-appearance number 4, what I should say. Harrison Wallace had 5 points on Richard Mitchell and 3 on Ryan Bettis further back, so 8 between those 3. Willis has got the better of them at the moment. Bettis is second. Mitchum's down the order in 18th, having had to stop on lap 9. That's not too worrying. Lap 10 for Dylan Shepherd, also good. It's the guys that stopped. Chuk Fung Wong, lap 3. Dave Riddell, lap 1. Reese Wakefield now on pit lane. Here comes Daniel Edmonds. He's not the only one. Wayne Hewitt's going in with him. Somebody's just parked up properly. Reese Wakefield will be running into dangerous territory shortly. He might be able to complete 75% race distance if he can't get back out there soon enough. That'll be retirement number 3. And Wayne Hewitt and Daniel Evans on the pit lane. Critical point here for these guys, BMW versus Mustang.
Neither of them taking tyres, they're sticking with their warm slicks.
Good call. Night 1, week 8, term 3. Platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, Waste Options Monday night, and Waste Options GT3 quarter to point. Edmonds rejoins in 14th and Hewitt in 15th.
The other tricky thing with the rain for these guys is while you're in the sim, the only information you have is a sort of a shorter version of that percentage chart. There's no way to look at a radar while you're driving. So unless you've got a spotter in your team letting you know, it's hard to know how much rain is coming, because even the vocal spotters aren't really that good at telling you how heavy the rain's going to be. So you've got to sort of really, once it does start coming, you've got to start feeling out and looking for all the visual cues and the grip levels of the track, and then figure out when you want to dive in the pits and get the other rubber, or is it light enough that you can get yourself to the end and not have to do the extra stop. So that's going to be interesting to see how it goes when it does come down.
Oh yeah. A very interesting period of this race right here and now. Hope you're enjoying it though, wherever you're tuning in. Ryan Bettis to pit lane now, and so too Lachlan Capel. So too Bradley Ratu and Denny Davison. We're in the window for these guys. At the end of lap 13, 26 minutes gone. Shane Clancy, Daniel Yeaman as well, all to pit road. Wait for those first raindrops to appear on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. That's the exciting part of the night for me. Very busy lap. Bradley Radu stays on the dries. And that's the point as well. If you can get away with it, if the tyre wear's not too bad, why waste the time changing the tyres knowing that you're probably coming in for a compound change anyway a little bit later on. James Parker, the big move, from lap 8, moves up to 6th outright in the Mercedes. Daniel Evans to 7th. This field not yet cleansed, but there's a lot of moving and shaking and jumbling going on right now. Dylan Shepard has stopped twice, the first being, of course, starting from pit lane, so lap 0. He's got up into 9th place now, and he's 59 seconds off the leaders. The transit time is the big talking point here. Ryan Bettis, 45 seconds behind Harrison Lewis. That was not the margin going into that round of pit stops, so that gives you an idea as to sort of transit time we're in for, Adam.
And interestingly, we've had a pit phase, and it's created a group.
Yep.
So we've got about 6 or 7 cars here, all pretty close together. So these guys are going to either work together or fight it out to the next phase as our leaders come in.
That was expected. So that's Lawless in. He's 10 seconds clear of his teammate Sammy Sutton, who dives in now as well.
Like those two have just checked right out of this race. Sutton was already far enough ahead. Also, whoever was second, also Bettis. Yeah, they were already far ahead. But the fact that Lewis had 10 seconds on Sutton, that's just ridiculous.
Correct. Absolutely correct.
Brandon was wide there on the exit. That's given Denny a run.
Davison, can he set it up on the inside to get the job done on Bradley Radu? He goes for it. Radu moved to the outside, open the door. There goes Davison. No, not able to get the job done yet. Radu holds on, fends around the outside. Nick Wood's got to slow down the serve. Davidson's open the door. Davidson's over the door. But Wayne's tried to dive down the inside. He couldn't take the invitation. He wasn't able to accept it. Hewitt, Mitchell and Yeaman all in the mix here as well. Varying strategy play across the board. Mark Hilly drops down to 7th. Daniel Tooney to 13th on the back of his pit stop. 15th making it back. Yeaman and Knight have crept through. Harrison Lewis leads by 6 seconds over Ryan Bettis. Sam Sutton is 3rd. Lewis went the biggest pit stop of the lot. No one else was 20.05 seconds. Everybody was sub 20 except Harrison Lewis and Daniel Piper, who's already gone onto the wets. Now, why the bloody hell would you do that? So Daniel Piper's night goes from bad to worse because it's still bone dry.
It's as I told you last time we had a race. It's still, I believe it's still in play. Like the logical thing most people would do would have the wet weather with tyres ready to go in their little black box, the controller, the pit stop controller. But the problem is, iRacing does not let you uncheck the tyres if you select a different compound. So it's automatically checked. So he's pre-selected the wets and then gone for his pit stop. So the pit teams have gone, you want some wets? Here you go, bro.
Yep, fair call. Unlucky, but that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, may have been more of, you want wets? We are checking.
Mitchum in 11th, and he's sitting there nicely. Wayne Hewitt for company. Mitchum trying to set up Danny Davison as they hang down the hanger straight. Huey's paint job is mint from Rob. Good evening to you. Thanks for tuning in as always. 29 minutes to go, and we've got our eyes skyward at the moment. There's a storm brewing here at Silverstone. There's a cracking contest unfolding on the racetrack as well. Now, Dylan Shepard went very short on the fuel stop, Adam Lotus. Did you notice that? 6.68 seconds.
Yeah,
That's why he followed up the order.
Yeah, not only did he pit early, he's also pitted short. which means he's going to be in the lane very shortly, and that's not
I don't know
ideal.
if he's going to be able to make it.
Given the rain is not here yet, that's not going to be ideal for him.
No.
He's going to be one hoping the rain doesn't come now.
And now he's also going to be the one potentially stopping 3 times too. Although you might potentially save a little bit of fuel. A little bit of fuel. With what's ahead of us here.
Yeah, but the issue is he's going to run out of fuel in the next 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
He's time limited on the fact that he's putting less fuel in the car in the last stop.
Correct. 28 minutes to go. Willis, Better, Sutton, Brent Parker, Brent Edmonds, Capel and Shepherd the top 7. Billy Ratto and Mitchell make up the top 10. Through we go. Maggots, Beckett's, and the hanger straight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still 6 Fords in the top 10, but now there's 2 Mercs. We know that Dylan Shepherd's not going to be out there for much longer, or he's going to be joining the lane again. Then the BMW of Dylan Edmonds and the Porsche of Ryan Bettis. Bettis still in championship contention in a Mustang-dominated season.
Shepherd's in now.
In comes Shepherd now. Yeah. Can he get 27 minutes out of this last stint?
There was also a lap car in one of the ESS cars.
Yeah, and not surprising either, because that was Dave Riddell, who is really out of contention already. Reece Wakefield has been on pit road for 14 minutes, so he's done for the night.
I wonder if Piper even knows he's on wets, because he's still out there trucking around. And that car will feel terrible. It'll be like he's he's running around on marshmallows.
And he's doing 2 minutes 13.045, so he's under threat going a lap down before they even get to the pit stop.
Which is slower than they were doing in the wet tyres. See?
Correct.
Oh, Shepherd's gone to wets as well. He's gambling.
He's got nothing to lose at this point, because he's out of contention anyway, so nothing to lose. Down the inside, big dive, Richard Mitchum. Brilliant on Bradley Ratu. Second time these two have met each other on the racetrack tonight. Mitchum leaves the door a little bit firmly ajar. A little bit further ajar than what he did earlier when Bradley Ratu set him pirouetting. He got slugged 5 seconds for it as well. So, all eyes skyward. There's a patch of yellow, there's a patch of orange rain on the way. Remember, the darker the colour, from green to white, from green to yellow to orange to red, the heavier it becomes. It is zeroing in on the Silverstone circuit right now. It may not arrive until the last quarter of the race. We're 35 minutes in. It's not here yet. Exciting. Parker is in. Parker only stopped for 7.92 in his first stop as well, so he's 2 run the ball. There's the rain, right on cue.
I think that's only going to be a small patch just touching the track. Hang on.
Yeah, so it's not going to be running up for the entire circuit. That's right. You're 100% spot on, Adam Lavis. There we go. Yeah, we're there. So it is.
It's just the old, just a stoke.
Yeah, it's going to miss the bulk of the track. It's not going to come into the arena section of the circuit or around the old start-finish straight, Maggots, Beckett's, etc. Wowee. So the rain has arrived, but is it going to miss most of the circuit?
I think it's a warning shot across the bow.
Oh, trouble. Jared Knight. Jared Knight pointing the wrong way. And James Parker and Andrew Neal back out on the racetrack. Neal going to the wets as well. Parker stayed on the dries. There's a talking point for you. Parker stayed on the dries.
Well, yeah,
with 24 minutes to go.
Given that little gap, given that big cell is coming, but there's a gap in front of it, so there is a chance it might not get in late enough. They might not. Some of these guys may have to gamble and try and stay out on the slicks.
It's a race where you got one eye on the track and one eye on the sky. You've only got 2. You got to prioritise where you've got them looking, ladies and gentlemen. We could be looking at back speeds, climbing scoreboards, etc., but we're looking on the sky and we're looking on the picture. You're seeing at home the battle pack that is Bradley Ruddy, Richard Mitchum, Denny Davison, Daniel Yaven and Wayne Hewitt.
So we'll see if as they come down the straight when the rain starts down here.
Mitchum's on the wipers. Ratu's there with him, having got back by. Watch them go this time. There will be rain here.
Yeah, it's just trickling here. It's not heavy rain yet. It's just enough to give a bit of threat, but not enough to wet the track yet.
And that's what your weather radar, your totem pole would say on the right-hand side. Very lightly wet. There is not enough in that to get us worried just yet.
I reckon Bruce still says dry. Oh, mostly dry, yeah. So mostly dry. So there's a little bit of moisture somewhere.
It's 3 corners from the end of the lap.
We still have over a third of the race left, so there's still plenty of time for that next cell to come in. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see when it comes in. Because hold on to Richard.
Jeez, well done, Richard Mitchum. He's had a shocker overnight. He doesn't want to. He can't afford it. Oh boy, it's so much at stake here. Mitchum would be almost due for the end of the stint as well, having only topped up for what was it, 14.33 on lap 9, when everyone around him was going 20 and 19 or 14 for Daniel Edmonds. He will be due a little bit closer to the end of the 20th lap because, to be fair, his stop was 14.27, but he stopped 3 laps later than Mitchum. 18.6 for Capel, 15.8 for Hilly, 14.3 for Mitchum on lap 9. 19.9 and 19.6 for Ratu and Davison. Yeaman, 18.1 on lap 13. So they're all good for fuel. Mitchum may not be. Wayne Hewitt, Daniel Cheney, 11th and 12th at the moment.
Yeah, the other thing too, when we get to the post race show, the fact is, like, even though these servers start with the same settings and the same sort of parameters, they develop on their own pace. So there's a chance that the Pro Am and the Am, it could be already raining in one of those right now, and the other one might have been raining for the last 10 minutes, or they might still be dry. So we'll have to find out and ask the guys how far into the race their rain came.
Yep, absolutely we will. This
if
one
at all.
is, yeah, that's right. This one's developing nicely, ladies and gentlemen. We're not sure if it's going to be anticlimactic or chaotic.
It's just teasing everyone at the moment. Just.
Main straight, another lap in the books.
So Lucky Cable's starting to put the pressure on Daniel here. So 4th place is not settled. This is definitely the main battle on track at the moment.
Indeed it is. Exciting. It's brewing. Cable's within striking distance of Edmonds as well, but they're on differing strategies.
Nick Wood has also stayed in the dries.
Yeah, through his 2nd stop.
So this is where everyone's going to basically take the gamble and see if they come up trumps or come up snake eyes.
I'm just keeping an eye on Nick Wood's pit stop now because it's 7-8 seconds.
Oh, sorry, no, he hasn't stopped yet. I think he's in now.
Yep.
His tyres aren't changing. They're still staying in G.
Yep. Staying on dries. Yep. Interesting choice that. It may end up becoming a winning move for him. May end up paying dividends. Dave Riddell's still going around on the dries. Chupang Wong on the wets, a lap down. Dylan Shepherd back on pit road. What has gone on here, please? Dylan Shepherd back on pit road. I reckon his race is run. He's not done.
He's got a black flag as well. Here's that rain again. It's back again.
There we go.
It's very much the same as the real world. We saw this end of the track when they were here in the real world. This is where it always comes in.
Yeah. And it's only light, and it's only that section. There's nothing really falling around the final corner. And it's happening so gradually. not as rapid as we would have hoped it would occur. Yeah, but none of it heavy. It's all light to moderate. None of it heavy.
"90" has taken the gamble to go to wets.
Yeah. So he'll be on the pit jacks for a little bit longer. Miles Burgess in 17th, Nick Wood 18th, Andrew Neal, Daniel Piper, the top 20. Lewis, Bettis, Sutton, then Capel, then Edmonds, then Hilly, then Mitchum, then Ratu, then Davison, then Yeaman, then Hewitt, the top 11.
Another interesting thing to talk to the guys when they come into the chat, Zach, is a lot of them were worried when they knew that there was going to be rain at all at Silverstone. And here it is now through Maggots and Beckett, so it's moving its way up the track.
There we go. Excellent.
So now,
and it's only light. It's only a spit.
Yeah, there's a little bit of miss on the tyres now, so it's starting to get to the track, but not quite there enough to get off the slicks. But, yeah, interesting to have a chat to the boys and see whether the threat of having a rain for the whole race, it is actually a bit more wet down here at Stowe.
Yep. It's a lot wetter down there. So
Danny's given up.
For Danny Davison to say, you know what, I'm in. Richard in as well, so too Daniel. All in, they're probably due. Now they've got an important decision to make. Can they hold on for another 17 minutes? And if you know it's only that third sector of the circuit, surely you're staying out there and burning the tank dry until you've got a more definitive idea of whether it's going to cover the track to the extent that warrants a switch to wets or not. Those guys have got a big decision to make right now. Edmonds goes to wets. Mitchum, Davison, and Poulton stay on the dries. Although Poulton hasn't actually landed on his jacks yet, so apologies. Confirm that when he does.
Davison's on wets. Mitchum's on wets.
Yep, they're all going.
Poulton stay dries. Oh no, he's in the box now.
Correct. James Parker comes through, still on the dries. Moves up to 11th as a result, but will he have to stop again?
But as I was saying, it'd be interesting to find out whether the threat of having rain for the majority of the race is worse than actually this teasing of rain throughout the race, which is actually the trickier situation to deal with.
Correct. Who knows? Very exciting point of the proceedings here, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, hold on to it.
Jeez. Nicely done. And now we go down the hangar straight once more. The rain continues to spit. It is a bit more prominent down here. We expected that.
Oh.
And now that's a big heap of spray, and both the orbit drop their cars end up off the road. Bradley Ratu in the gravel. Unbelievable.
Did he get a white line there?
So it's enough down at the right-hander at the end of the hangar straight. It is, and Bradley's got a black flag. Bradley Ratu has a black flag.
That's probably incident points.
Ratu is done for the night.
So does
he won't be in contention.
Does he get the white line or does he get a puddle? Yeah, white line.
White line. White line does it every time. However, is his teammate going off as well? That was quite interesting. That was Mark Hilly, was it not?
I know, Evans has done the same thing.
White line. So that part of the racetrack is treacherous and skatey. A little bit of trepidation and caution required when driving through there if you're still on the slicks. Bradley Ratu swaps to wets, but he's got that drive through to serve as well. So too Dylan Shepherd, but Shepherd is not going to come back out onto the racetrack. He's out. He's done. 2 laps down almost is Dave Riddell, by the way, so, and back on pit road, so that'll just about verify that. Top 10 still on dries, and still, well, James Parker has stopped. He's got to get through to the end on the dries if he can. He's going to gift up a fair chunk of time to Harrison Lillis and co in just a few moments.
And Rado's in a bad situation too, because he's done a stop, and he still has to do a drive-through separately.
Yeah, correct.
He's on the wets now, though. Well, actually,
no, it's a stop and hold.
It's stop and hold. Unless he's just given up.
Because it's 1 minute and 7.
Unless he's parked
up. He's already been on the jacks. He might have just said, that's it, I'm done for the night. He might have just hung up in frustration, Bradley Ratu. Oh, jeez. Darren Yeaman 6th. What a drive this is from Yeaman. A little bit of a bobble coming out of the right-hander at the end of the back straight there. Yeaman's on a charge. Lillis, better, Sutton, Ben Hilly, then Capel, the top 5. Yeaman in 6th and Wayne Hewitt 7th. Yep, you're right. Dylan Shepherd has departed.
Their next cell is the heavy cell.
Yeah. But will it arrive in time?
So it's starting to. So its maximum was a little while ago. So it's on the way back to yellow. So it won't be as heavy as it could have been, but it's still going to be enough to properly wet the track if it gets here.
The big if. The big if. The last 10 minutes of this race will be really spicy, ladies and gentlemen. Now, with Shepherd parking up and a few others as well, Ratu is done. Daniel Piper is out there, but he's a lap down. Chuk Fung Wong has got back out there, but he's a lap down. Dave Riddell will be 2 laps down. Is 2 laps down, I should say. Everybody else is out for the night. 75% race distance is determined by the number of laps covered by the leader, which at the moment could still end up being about 30. But because we're not going to lose as much time as we thought we were to wet weather times plummeting. So therefore, keep an eye on that. If it's 29, 28, then you're looking at 21, 22 laps, 23 if it gets to 30.
So interestingly,
75% marker.
If the rain doesn't get here by the end of the race, Parker has done well here because he's leading the 2 pit stoppers and he's on the slicks. So if it doesn't rain, he is cheering, but it is threatening.
Oh, yeah. Times have dropped outside the 2-minute threshold as well. We expected that. Everybody tippy-toeing their way through.
Well, yeah, one of the fastest corners of the track is one of the trickiest at the moment.
Yep. One of the best corners of the track. The one thing I do look forward to doing is when I get my hands on the copy of the new Formula 1 game is driving this track in reverse, just to see what it's like.
Is Grant Gill somewhere?
Uh-oh. What have we done? What have you done? Oh, James Parker, no. Drops to 10th as a result of that. Oh, no. Adam Lavis has put the mocker on him. James Parker makes a costly mistake coming through Maggots and Beckett's, and that will be 10th place for him. He's 4.5 seconds up the road from Daniel Edmonds, but the problem is, has he got damage? Does he need to stop again? He's off the track again, so that might explain that. He's off the track down at Woodcott. On the approach, sorry, not is it Woodcott? I'm not sure.
No, it was Stowe. It was Stowe going into pit lane.
It was Stowe, yep. And into pit lane now to concede and change, get the damage fixed and change on the wets. Yep. Vale's the one that I was thinking of, not Stowe. Stowe is the correct corner. But I was thinking Stowe was the last corner, not the fastest corner. I don't know why I had them two mixed up for whatever reason. So I've now brought up the track map just because I'm done with trying to second guess myself. Holton there in 12th place and Yeaman in 6th.
Vale's the first part of the last chicane, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or the approach to it, yeah. And Club is the final corner coming back onto the main straight.
Andrew Neil almost got the white line, and Rain is back at Stowe. It's coming again. So that cell is probably really close now. And a bunch of the leader guys are in.
Hilly, Yeaman, and Hewitt all in right now. And Rellis, Bettis, Sutton, and Cable are still ploughing through to lap 26 to go. Now, this is interesting because it's, again, we talk about it. Wow. We talk about it being a 28, 29 lap race.
It's definitely going to hit.
One. Oh, yeah, 100% it's going to hit. And secondly, right, we talk about it being, so Mark Hilly's going to wets. He's taking the plunge. Daniel Yeaman has not. Wayne Hewitt has. Yeaman is staying on the dries, throwing caution to the wind. Whoa! Evans with a big little boogie coming out of Beckett's. A bobble of the wheel, a little bit of a twitch.
Oh, there's the proper rain now.
So got to get through there cleanly. If you're Dan Yeaman, you might be a little bit nervous being on the dries for the remainder of this race. Lewis has completed lap 25. He's on lap 26. He's on lap 12 of his spin. Pettis is on lap 13 of his. Naples on lap 13 of his. Sutton's on lap 12 of his.
Well, how early on the brakes is Lewis? Is tippy-toeing.
That's right. These two boys, they have a second stop to complete, but they could, they could potentially, no, don't bother about it. Harrison Lewis is in. Right here, right now, he is in. They could potentially, as Bettis comes in as well, they could potentially have pushed that all the way through lap 28 if they wanted to. They said, no, we're not having a bar of that. Stick that sideways. Sam Sutton comes pit lane as well. Rockland Cable will most likely follow them in.
So Poulton's got a penalty. I'm not sure if it's exiting a pit lane or whether it's a... Oh, hang on. We've got one of the OPR guys. Yeah. Oh, that's Shepard. Shepard's trying to get his garage with an open shed for him.
Right. Shepard out of the race. We knew that already. Cheney is in the Ferrari. Now, that's a great story for him. Cheney in the Ferrari. Orbit drop there. Ryan Bettis
staying on dries.
On the dries. And I wouldn't think that's the right call to make at this point because it's now probably chucking it down on the main straight. It wasn't last time through. Bettis and Daniel Yeaman are throwing caution to the wind here. It hasn't worked for Yeaman. He's been too slow on the outlap. Sutton has come out in third. That could well soon be second. This is costly for Ryan. If Ryan Bettis can get through, it's an extraordinary story. And if he can't, it's costly for his championship aspirations with a view to the deficit to both Harrison Lewis and Richard Mitchum. We're riding on board with him right now, and it's tippy-toe stuff because this is now falling all around the circuit, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, something to talk about. But if he can hold on, he's only 12 seconds up the road. Daniel Poulton was off the road momentarily back to 12. If he can hold on, the margin of Harrison Lewis is only 12.3 seconds. Sammy Sutton is another 7-8 seconds back. Lachlan Capel's off the road. Has gathered it back up, but has lost out to Cheney and Yeaman. Yeaman is under pressure from both Cheney and Capel. And Cheney and Yeaman both stayed on the dries. So did Bettis. So 3 of the top 6. And Daniel Poulton in 13th and James Parker in 14th have stayed on the dries. So too Nick Wood in 15th. 16th, I should say. He now comes to pit lane. He concedes defeat. He can't make it to the end on fuel.
Interesting, as Lewis has won the tyres up, only 3/10 difference in sector 3.
I know. It's extraordinary, isn't it? It is. Oh, look at it. There's puddles on the circuit now. Bettis is in trouble down here. Watch this.
Stay away from those.
Straight through the slush.
No
Straight through the slush and off the road. Goodbye, Ryan Bettis. Oh, how costly a moment is this for Ryan? The best placed non-Mustang in the championship fight at the moment. And he's going to be in a world of hurt for the next few laps. Cheney and Yeaman are off the road. Cheney and Yeaman are off the road. Again.
Dry tyres.
Again, the gamble is staying on dry tyres. Coming back to bite these guys very late in the piece. 4 minutes to go. It'll be too... I don't see how we don't see a white flag next time by the way. because of the pace difference in the circuit right now, I reckon we get a white flag next time by. So we go to 29 on your bingo card. But that very much depends on the pace of Harrison Lewis. Because if they can get back to the line, 204, 205, I'll be right. But if it's anything beyond that, you'll probably see the white flag. So let's keep an eye on that next time through. This is what happened to Daniel Cheney. Oh, sacrificial lamb, was he?
Oh, no. He's avoiding his own teammate.
Yeaman's night goes from bad to worse. Yeaman's night goes from bad to worse.
On the curb.
Already an incident in the Mazda MX5's time 2. Then that Bettis is off the road again. Ryan Bettis is off the road again whilst we're live. Whilst we're showing replays. Ryan Bettis off the road again. Harrison Lewis is your new race leader at the Silverstone circuit. And you can now actually hear the rain.
Well, they actually came together there.
Yeah, and nothing Harrison Lewis could have done about that. You can actually hear the rain coming through your sound effects now, ladies and gentlemen. It's tucking it down at Silverstone. And Harrison Lewis is the race leader. And we'll see the white flag this time by.
Bettis has got an instant point black flag drive-through as well.
Yeah. So Ryan Bettis, a very costly defining moment in the championship fight here. He doesn't have a real good drop round to fall back on. He's 2 rounds that are his worst, to 23 and 23, a 4th and a DNF, a 4th and a DNF. He cannot afford what's unfolding here. As far as his championship's concerned, cannot afford this.
Well, Parker's got another black flag as well. They're all forward.
This may well put him out of contention with Harrison Lewis and Richard Mitchum. White flag in the air this time through. Ryan Bettis off the road again. White flag in the air for Harrison Lewis. 1 to go. Let's go. One more time around. The rain finally arrived. And it arrived with a hell of a splash. Lewis on his way home. Off-track alerts lighting up left, right and centre. James Parker, Nick Wood on pit road. Dylan Shepard and Reese Wakefield are still there. They'll be classified. Bradley R2 will be as well. Dave Riddell will finish 2 laps down in the end. So too, no, he will be the only one 2 laps down. Daniel Piper's going to be a lap down. Chupang Wong's going to be a lap down. James Parker and Rick Wood will hopefully make it back out onto the racetrack. Ryan Bettis in for his black flag. Oh boy, feel sorry for him really. Jared Knight. Oh, look at this. Look at this. The orbit drop there, boys, are just splashing through the dirt. So Cheney and Yeaman both have slowdowns. Jared Knight's on for a top 10 here potentially. Have a look at this. He goes to 11th. One more driver makes a mistake in this fight or crashes on the final lap. Jared Knight might well be able to get a 10th. He's 11th. He's got 11 and a bit to go. It's a fair gap, 27 seconds up to Danny Davison, but he just needs one driver to slip up dramatically on the final lap. Or one driver to, and Ryan Bettis is on pit road now getting wet, so there's the gift potentially for Jared Knight here.
He still has a penalty to serve too, so.
That's right, so Jared Knight is going to come through for a top 10 in the McLaren. We're going to have a McLaren in the top 10, Adam Lavis. Have a look at that. Harrison Lewis, a quarter of the lap from home and on track to continue his winning ways in the last 2 weeks and chalk up a 3rd consecutive sweep of the night. Pole position, race win, 1 and 2 at Shell V-Power Motorsport Park. Pole race win last week, Road America, Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Tonight, pole, fastest lap, strategy called to a T, and now race victory as well. Harrison Lewis on track now to defend the title he won, ending the reign of Matty Bench. Only last term, Lewis gets the job done at Silverstone. Hurries you in on a Monday night.
So Lockie Cable may lose his 4th place.
Win on the trot.
Lockie Cable's got a black flag in the last lap for the instant point, so he may lose his 4th place here.
He will. He will. That's very bad luck for Lockie Cable.
Although the gaps are pretty big, he may still stay in the top 10.
Yeah. It's great for Wayne Hewitt, though. Mark Hilly in for third. It's an orbit drop there and a Ford Mustang lock out of the podium, ladies and gentlemen. Jeremy Sutton in for second. Capel will cross the line in fourth, but we think that'll end up going to Wayne Hewitt. Shane Clancy, Richard Mitchum. What a night he had, eh? Unlucky 7 as far as he's concerned. Ryan Bettis in 13th.
Yeaman's still struggling on the dries.
Just gone by Dan Yeaman. Points to Yeaman for just, copping his mistake on the chin there and just persevering with the dries. He's still got half a lap to go, the poor bloke. And that's James Parker on the dries as well, flipping and sliding all over the place. What a shocking end of the night for these guys, eh? Unbelievable. Well done, Harrison Lillis. As I said, that championship defense, it was looking a little bit sketchy at the halfway mark. He's turned it around in the second half. Back in business and looking to chalk up back-to-back victories in Waste Options GT3 Pro on the back of a clinical performance at the Silverstone circuit tonight. Bondi's in the house, and Bondi is still waiting for Instagram, but I'll get to that in just a moment, because Adam Lavis had a request from Bondi to sit in race control on Thursday night, but I also had a request from him to sit in the commentary box on Thursday night. Make up your mind. You can't be in two places at once. Harrison Lillis, Sam Sutton, and Mark Hilly, the top three here. Orbit drop there, lock out the podium. Ford ended up going 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and that is just so fitting given the news that I'm going to share at the end of the broadcast. The Mercedes of Shane Clancy 6th, the Ford of Richard Mustang 7th, Daniel Edmonds in 8th in the Bimmer, the Corvette Chev of Denny Davis in 9th, and Jared Knight in 10th in the McLaren. So in the end, Ford, Mercedes, BMW, Chev, McLaren, and Ferrari through Daniel Cheney 11th, having succumbed to his own, slip up on the strategy call very late in the piece to come into pit lane and change tyres. Go to the wets, a third stop for him. I think all of our finishers have now come home. Miles Burgess, Ryan Bettis, disaster for Bettis as far as the championship was concerned. That it's one-way traffic for Richard Mitchell, for Harrison Lillis, and it was a leg up given to him by Richard Mitchum, having two run-ins with one with Bradley Ratu and one all on his own. And Dan Yeaman, that was a good result that went begging for him. Wayne Hewitt, 11 positions gained, but Lockie Capel has 16 positions gained on my lap sheet, but then he has dropped down to 9th. So most positions gained, therefore, is going to go to Wayne Hewitt with 11, because Yeaman's ineligible with 12 because he didn't set a qualifying time, and Capel was plus 16, but now it's plus 11. So Hewitt will get that, and it becomes plus 12 as well for Wayne Hewitt because he goes to 4th, Clancy to 5th, Mitchum, Edmonds, Davison, Capel, Jared Knight make up the top 10. Great to see Knighty in the top 10. Cheney, Burgess, Bettis, Yeaman, Neal, Poulton, Wood, Fung Wong, Piper, and Parker. The top 20. Adam Lavis just trying to work out what screen he's going on.
I would have changed and he started talking about the other one.
Correct. Dave Riddell was 21st in the end, persevered through it all. The retirements included Bradley Radu, Dylan Shepherd, Hayden Reese Wakefield, Mitch McLeod, and Dane Snapper. Oh, boy. That's a Monday night that doesn't disappoint. Have a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Have a look at this. So this might actually compensate the fact that he's in the naughty corner in the Porsche Cup on Thursday night. Bondi's it might also soften the blow of what's to come, as far as I'm aware, as far as GT3 is concerned for Craig Bond. He wins from Ben Goring, 4 seconds the margin. They were well clear of Bobby Camo, Matt Schmidtke, Dave Oliver. They had a good little scrap by the looks of that all the way to the finish line. Then Andrew Franklin, Brad Coates, Jonathan Hooper, Paul Wood, and Brett Bradbury, the top 10. 28 laps completed there, one less than the pro split. And we'll have to scroll that down, please, Adam Lavis, to find out where El Presidente finished. Let's have a look. Trucker Joe Baldwin, 13th. Is that a lucky 13th trucker or not? Good evening to you.
Good evening. Look, I actually had a pretty good strategy call that I shared with a bunch of the guys, and we stretched the first tank as far as we could. I only put about 15 litres in and went again because we knew the rain was coming, and it would have worked out perfect. I think I come out in 4th. I ended up running 3rd at one stage and realised, I clicked the auto fuel in the middle of a pit stop, so it stopped filling up and said I needed 18 litres, which didn't put in. So I dropped back from probably a top 5 to 13, so a bit filthy on that. But considering it's the first GT3 race I've done in about, jeepers, be coming on nearly a year, I suppose. So I think I went from 25th to 13th in the end. Should have been the top 5, but hey, it was good fun. I wanted to do it because it's Silverstone, was mixed weather, and it was a lot of fun, and they've fixed the Mustang, so I thoroughly enjoyed that. It was good fun.
And that's the point as well. They have fixed the Mustang. It has been a terrific performer in the GT3 server in the recent past, mate. It's nice to see.
Jared Knight's having typical male issues. It gets worse as you get older.
I have nothing to add to that at this particular point in time.
Yeah, so I was actually in the pit bar, went in, and I think I was running second or third when I went in for my second pit, and the amount of fuel I needed was going to be covered by tyres, which we had to put wets on, and if I hadn't clicked the button, would have been a better result. But hey, look, it was great fun. I had a real good battle with Baz. Once he got caught up in something early on, and him and I had a good battle. Him and Paul Wood. I mean, look, we always have good battles with Woodsy, but he's in here now too. But yeah, we had a good battle there sort of early on in the race, and then the pit strategy took hold. And unfortunately for Baz, I think he was pole, and he stuck it in the fence at some stage there in the rain and ended up on the tow hook. And I think he went to the bar before the race was finished. So yeah, unlucky for Dave. He definitely had the pace tonight, but. Yeah, look, great bunch of guys in the Pro-Am. I haven't done it for a while, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. It was good, clean racing right through the field. So hats off to everybody in the Pro-Am class. It was a good display of racing and sportsmanship as well. So, yeah, hats off to the guys.
Despite contrary belief, we actually broadcasted the Pro server tonight, ladies and gentlemen, but the post-race show contains, at the moment, 3 and 3 only drivers from the Pro-Am split. So we'll hear from Paul Wood very shortly, and we'll get to Craig Bond eminently too. Trucker, just stay with me there, actually, because I want to bounce across to you. I want to come back to you, though, so hang tight give me a couple of minutes. I want to quickly get Bondy in, knowing that it's a school night for him. I know the time difference over there is just a smidgen more favourable, but I know you're on a tight frame as well, so just stay there for me momentarily. Bondy, congratulations on the win, mate. Nice to see that you're able to chalk one up, as I said, it may soften the blow for the fact that you won't be on track on Thursday night.
Forgot about Thursday night, and I couldn't care now since I'm a winner in GT3s again finally. So yeah, pretty good night actually, and yeah, difficult. Dry, I didn't have any pace in the dry. I was horrid. But as soon as that rain came in, my car turned on and I started coming back through that field. I think I went down to P7 or something at one point during that race after the first round pit stops, and I lost a lot of hope then, but came back strong towards the end. But I think compared to the others, kind of shorter filling in the stop, and I went full fuel. I'm like, oh crap, this might be the end here, since I got jumped by a lot of people.
And that's the interesting thing too, mate. The rain really only took hold of this race at about the final quarter. When did it arrive in your server, please?
I actually don't know. When do you think it was, Joe?
Joe, Paul?
Sorry, what was that?
The rain, about how late into the race did it arrive for you guys?
It started sprinkling at about the 27-minute mark, just before.
Oh, okay.
Before we had
it.
Yeah, before the first pit stop, it started, and I'm not sure about Craig, but I stayed on slicks and just took a little bit of fuel to try and get into that window of when you were going to need the wet weather tyres. So, yeah, I think it was about the 27-minute mark.
not regretting that change from the BMW to the Mustang, Bondi?
What do you say?
You changed to the Mustang partway through this term, did you not?
No, I stuck with
No?
the Beamer.
Oh, you stuck with the Beamer?
Yep.
Okay.
Stayed with that, and I've got a win in it.
Finally, it's actually paid off for you.
Yeah, but a lot of that, I'll give it to the sim. It was wet, so I was first in practice, first in qualifying, first in the race. So not a bad
the
night.
perfect night. The perfect night. How good. Because I was going to say, here we still had Mustang dominance in GT Pro, which was not surprising to anybody. Now, before we bring Paul Wood into the discussion, since we've still got Trucker here as well, I want both of you to give me your thoughts on the fact that we'll soon have an Aston Martin to play with in GT3. Joe, you first.
Oh, it's a sexy looking machine. Oh, I don't know if it's going to be fast or not, but it's certainly going to go in the garage. It looks amazing. So, yeah. Look, and hey, we're sort of sport for choice at the moment, but I think it's only a good thing, you know. Like you got some. I know there's a lot of guys in our team have said how good the Aston looks, and I mean the GT4 Aston Martin's proved popular right from when it was released. So it's well, it was early on. I'm not so sure about now, but I think you're probably going to find a little army of Aston Martins on the grid next season, but. Hopefully they nerf it like they did the Mustang when it was released, because it was an evil pig. So, but no. Look, iRacing, they're coming up the goods again. They got another Formula car. I think the NXT IndyCar's coming as well. So that might be something to replace a series next season. Maybe we're not too sure yet. We'll discuss all that tomorrow night. But definitely looking forward to that Aston Martin.
And of course, Ford in GT4 as well. So we're looking.
Yes.
But what I'm interested in, and I'll go back to Bonnie in a moment, what I'm interested in, Trucker, there was a lot of hype, a lot of substance around the Chev Corvette and the Ford Mustang arriving in GT3. It's taken a while, but the Ford's finally there. The Chev's never really hit the mark in terms of being a race-winning contender. The Acura, it was the flavour of the month when it arrived, and now you don't see one on the grid in GT Pro. It'll be interesting to see what the Aston brings to the table and whether it fast becomes a front-running contender or whether it takes a while to warm up like the Mustang has done.
Yeah, look, I think the problem with the Chev is it's rear-wheel drive, and I've driven it, and it's I don't know, it's a knife-edge car. You either understand how it works or you don't. I don't. I can't drive it. Like it's terrible. But the Mustang now, it's like a supercar with grip. Like it's fantastic. I think it's a great car to drive now. I did a couple of laps in the last couple of days in the rain, but when it got dry, it was great. So the Aston Martin, obviously, it's front engine rear wheel drive. If it's anything like the Mustang when it's released, it'll be a popular car for sure.
Indeed. Going back to you, Bondi. I had my manufacturer changes mixed up with you, by the way, buddy. I do apologise because you drove the McLaren way back in round one. I'm just going through and doing some homework now. The other round where we were all talking about wet weather or looking forward to wet weather and it never arrived, of course, VIR, you got on the board there. Finally, another win to show for it here as well. But the other interesting thing for you is going to be there's a rumour in the realms that you might have a similar to Porsche's, a race suspension coming away in GT3. And if that's the case, hopefully that's for next week so you can be all clear to go and race at Mount Panorama in week 10.
I don't even know how many I'm on in GT3s. I think I've
Well,
got
I didn't know until tonight either, by the way.
I think I've got one up my hand and I don't remember being in any incident. I wasn't in a single incident tonight, so I shouldn't get any from tonight unless it's from previous rounds. So I guess we'll just wait and see that.
Previous rounds.
Yeah. Woodsy can verify it because it was in the stewards.
You were very lucky because
I didn't know about it.
It was supposed to have been put through for tonight. So
yeah,
you take that win and run, boy, because you were lucky.
Exactly. Yep.
Make the most of it. In other words.
So I feel though I probably shouldn't disclose that information on air live with everybody listening at home, but I feel as though with President, Chief Steward and broadcaster who has his hands on all the information and head over everything what we do, or around everything that we do here on the platforms of the GSRC, I felt as though it was a safe enough option to run with it. But on that note, now that you got that bad news, to go with the good news of the win, how do you refocus now? How do you use this week off, given that you won't be on the grid for the Porsches, you won't be on grid for GT3 next week? You'll then be able to come back for round 9 of the Porsches at the Bend, then round 10 of GT3 at Mount Panorama. How do you use this time off to kind of refocus and then try and work on those little teething issues that you've got in your racecraft at the moment that have prompted race control to whack the knuckles of C Bond?
I'm going to be doing absolute nothing then. I'll probably be playing some other games. I might play Le Mans Ultimate or something. That's what it feels like for me. But I'm lucky it's actually been, I think I got a week away from getting the ban, because I had that 10-week probation thing. And I think I got away with that by a week because of the 3 license points last round.
Adam?
Your probation restarted with the Porsche's penalty.
Another 10 weeks.
Bad luck, Bondi.
Might just have to sit out.
Technically restarts again with the GT3.
Correct. Mate. So Bondi's got all eyes on him at the moment, but not for the reasons he'd like them to be. I know it's been a tough week, mate. Obviously, last week was the sudden, untimely passing of Joe Bianchini. He will be farewelled this week, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Details are available via Facebook and other outlets from people like the Griffith Kart Club and Karting Australia that have been sharing that information. So if you're in the Griffith area and can get out there, obviously go along and pay your respects. If not, of course, you'll be able to tune in via their live stream. But obviously nice to be able to notch up a win tonight, Bondi. I mean, it's not as though you got a penalty in any of the other categories. Have you got Friday night clear this week? Can you go and run in some open wheelers on broadcast for Joe?
No, I'll be down in New Merca for Australian title this weekend.
Okay, yes, of course. Didn't get the Dubbo over the weekend just gone?
Nah, don't have the funding for that. So
yeah, unlucky.
I went to Wagga, helped it with some newcomers, and that was my weekend pretty much, in some work. So finally got some money to buy the new Mustang and stuff when it comes to iRacing. So
and now that you've just prompted me, I didn't ask you thoughts on that. I'm very excited about the Mexico City circuit. You know, I'm a big fan of that coming to the venue, coming to the platform. GT4 Mustang, GT3 Aston, good times to be a GT4 or GT3 racer, I think.
I think I'm gonna buy the lot. Mexico, the Indy, next car, the GT4 Mustang is gonna be the first thing I get, because I've been waiting for that so much, and I think I've been just annoying iRacing, just sending like, can we get this? When will this come? When will this come? And I haven't got an answer, which is understandable, but I've been looking forward to that for ages. And the Aston, I won't mind trying. I reckon that might be a half decent car.
So it's not just me that gets massive amounts of messages from the youthful exuberance of the likes of Craig and our mate Wyatt Parrish as well. He smashes me on Snapchat with messages. And the bad thing about Snapchat is you get a notification for every single message that comes up. It's like, no, give up. Just tell me that he sent me, insert number here messages, and I'll get back to it later. Anyway, with that in mind, congratulations on the win. Well done. Nice to see that the BMW has finally paid some sort of dividends for you. I look forward to seeing what your car selection for next term is going to be. We'll have a chat in the next couple of days. We might have you in here on Thursday night, but it will depend on whether I'm here or not. As you know, that's very much up in the air at the moment, mate, and I'm going to explain to the audience why very shortly. But thanks for dropping by for a chat, and well done.
You're right, and thank you. That was for Joseph tonight as well, that win. I'm going to pass that on for him.
I was thinking that would be the case, and I'm glad you mentioned it so that I didn't have to do it. Good boy. Thank you for that. From Bondi back to Joe. I just love when we were airing dirty laundry on a Monday night. Normally that's reserved for Friday Night Trucker, but I haven't been here the last three Friday nights, so I'm catching up. In saying that, a big week for the club, mate, because obviously as you've already revealed on air, this is the last week in the president's role for you. Pending that I don't know if I get to sit here and be with you on Friday night or not. I should ask you now. We know that you're not leaving. You're just taking a step back to focus on some personal matters and get some stuff in check. And then you might return to a committee level capacity in some way, shape or form later down the track. But I think it's fair to say on behalf of all of us to you, thank you very much for leading from the front for the last couple of seasons. And I don't hesitate to say that you leave the club in a far stronger position than when you inherited it. And we're still, it's amazing that 5 years on, we haven't had a real dip yet. It's just continued to rise and rise and rise.
Yeah, look, I appreciate that. Thanks, Zach. I'm still going to be on the committee. I'm not leaving. If people still want me, they can vote. They can vote me in. I'm just going to stay on general and do some of the stuff in the background to help the guys out. There's no rest for the wicked. I can't leave it alone that much. But look, it's been a great couple of years. You know, sitting in this position with the responsibility of it, something that I've actually enjoyed the challenge and working with the many different committee members that have come and gone over the past couple of years. And I think, we've got a lot achieved in that time and tightening up rules and probably just, there's a couple of little things that, I would like to have got across the line. I was hoping to get a charity race across the line a while back that just unfortunately didn't get any traction, but there may come a time in the future where we can get some legs with something like that and do something good for the wider community. But that's probably about the only thing that I've wanted that we haven't got. So, but other than that, like with Josh and Greg and especially Adam and Paul and the two Sams and the two Gregs, and there's just been a great bunch of guys in this last 12 months. Matt Schmitty, he's in there as well, and I'm sure I'm going to forget heaps because I always do. I don't have a list up, and I'm a forgetful sort of bloke. But the last two years, and Lee Williamson, welcome back to Lee Williamson.
Yes, I noticed
he's
that.
shown up tonight. He did RC for the Pro-Am guys. Now we haven't seen Lee for a while, so it's great to see a familiar face back in the chair and telling everybody what to do. So big shout out to Lee. He's seen that we needed a hand, and he was one of the first guys to stick his hand up and let Scotty know that he'll sit in the chair and do it for us. So welcome back to Lee. Hopefully we'll get to see a bit more of him going forwards. But look, it's been a privilege being in the position I'm in, and it's been very testing at times. And I can't say I didn't have to go dad mode a couple of times over the last couple of years. And, but it's all part and parcel of, when you got a club as big as what we've got, and I mean, to where it's grown to now, I think we're probably hovering, solidly in the high 400s, paid members at the moment. So it's a big organisation that I'm incredibly proud of being a part of since day one, and even more so proud of, having a double stint as the presidency. So I won't be going away from the committee level completely, but just taking a bit of a backseat and let some other guys step up and steer the ship for a little while, I guess. So, but it's been a privilege. Met a lot of great guys in the chair, and they've come and spoke to me about what's going on in the club with some great ideas and whatnot. So it's been fantastic.
And there'll be a new anointed president to have a chat with us here front and centre next Monday night. Because the AMG is, the AGM is this weekend. It's appropriate that we're talking GT3 cars when I make that slip up, isn't it? But in saying that, you followed, the footsteps of Paul Nichols, who led the way from the start. David Johnson was in there. Angus Cook was in there. I'm sure I've missed somebody else along the way too. But, of course, you've been an integral part, probably the longest-serving one that we've had too, Joe, so that's not lost on anybody. It can be, at times, a thankless role, mate. You've done a marvellous job. And we know we're still going to have you in the chair on a Friday night as well, so which is always good fun for us as well, because we enjoy hanging out and having a chat and talking motor racing. It's the only time of the week we really get to do it, and it's disappointing, actually. Here we go. Scott Jordison may not have happened in 2025, 26. But 26 most likely as well. At least with SRW. What does Scott Jordison know, who's in the booth as well, but he's got his microphone muted, and that's good because if we get Scotty going, we're here till midnight. The reality of
early start. I'm going to have to boost in a second, but yeah.
It's SRW, and there's also some, you mentioned SRW, there's also big news coming with regards to the 5th instalment of the Australian Open World Nationals, which is coming up between Term 3 and 4 2, ladies and gentlemen. So Josh Duno, I prompted him on that earlier in the evening. He said, I'm going to worry about it after the AGM, and then he'll forward on some more information to it. So stick around for that, but there's some exciting news there regarding that. So stay tuned for more details. But Trucker, more specifically, mate, nice to obviously see you have a run in the GT3s. We know that it's something that you only get to do sporadically. Racing-wise, is there anything you get to do between now and obviously when we're here on, well, you're here obviously on Friday night for Donington, and I think the Super Formulas are from Zandvoort, if I read the memo correctly. I should remember it. I wrote the bloody thing up. Yeah. So, of course, we're off to Circuit Park Zandvoort for Super Formula, Donington Park for the Formula Fords. Anything between now and then for you racing-wise, or is that your next assignment, mate?
Look, hopefully I'm home from work in time to do Vs and Porsches on Thursday night, and Wednesday night, if I'm home early enough, I'll be doing the NASCARs and probably the supercars, but it's just work permitting. We got a lot of rain here at the moment, so we're having to go further for our trips and whatnot, so we'll just see how the work schedule lines up, I guess. But I'll be doing everything that I can, because I do enjoy racing when I get a chance.
Absolutely, and of course, Donington also for the Vs on Thursday night as well.
Combination.
100%, it's going to be fantastic, and of course the Algarve circuit for the Porsches too. So that's another reason why Trucker's here on Thursday. The NASCARs, Michigan, how's everybody enjoying? I haven't had a chance really to chat to you about them. How's everyone enjoying the Gen 4 this term?
I'm not too sure. Honestly, I've only got to do, I think, 2 races. But going off the broadcast, I don't know how well it's been enjoyed. Some tracks are golden with it and sort of suit it, whereas other tracks don't. And the tracks that you think will be nice and clean aren't, and the ones that you think are going to be hard work, people tend to get to the end without a yellow. So it's I don't know if it's coming back next season. We'll discuss that tomorrow night, I'm sure, but. It's been a long, hard road with the NASCAR, just trying to get people to
Benici, it's a handful.
Pretty much, But as I've said right from the start, it's such a different discipline to what the club is generally known for. So that makes it really difficult when you get guys that don't generally do this sort of stuff, and then get in and try and do the oval. You just got to drive them different. It's a different thing, I guess. It's hard to explain, but it's the guys that do a good job of it do really well. You know, like the guys up the front of the championship there, they all know what they're doing. So, but it's just, even I struggled in the Gen 4, so I don't have any pace. I'd like to have pace, but I don't.
Last team up to Daytona in the NASCAR Cup yesterday was absolutely fantastic. Mark Hilly has actually stopped into the green room, so let's drag him into the commentary box. Finally, we've got a pro split driver in here to have a chat to us as well, which is nice. Mark, we'll get to you in just a moment.
Sorry, Zach. So, and thanks to Sean and Scott for the love. I did see it up there. Thanks, guys, and we will see you all at the committee meeting tomorrow night. And don't forget, guys, if you want to have a vote in who gets to run your club, your Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club, be at the annual general meeting. I think we're penciled in for 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. So
Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard Time. That is subject to confirmation, but I believe that's where we're headed. So keep ears out for the exact time, and we'll see you all there.
Trucker, I hope I'm here with you on Friday night, mate, and I'm hoping to be here on Thursday night to commentate in action in the Vs and the Porsches. But as you know, there's a couple of things that are up in the air at the moment, which I'm going to fill the audience in on a little bit later on. But, mate, if I'm not, thank you. We'll catch up next week.
Will do. Thank you, Zach. See you guys.
From Joe Baldwin to Paul Wood. And Scott Jordison's here as well. We might get a race report, race control report, I should say, from Scotty, who teamed up with Lethal Lee Williamson earlier this evening as well. We'll get that from Scott very shortly was that the Pro-Am split, Scotty?
Correct. Yeah, correct.
Good man. We'll come back to you in a moment. Quite poignant that you're here as well. And we've had 3 drivers from the Pro-Am split before we even get to Mark Hilly from the Pro split. We'll get his thoughts on a wild finish here to steal the trademark word of M.K. In GT3 Pro with thanks to Waste Options from the Silverstone circuit in Great Britain. Woodsy, sum it up for me, mate. We saw the results there earlier. What was it like for you out there in the thick of, in the heat of battle in Pro-Am, knowing that the rain was coming, and just how do you handle that sort of situation? There's obviously some nerves and anticipation and excitement around it, right? Because you're looking at it from a commentator's standpoint, you know, when's it going to arrive? How's it going to change the narrative, et cetera, et cetera. But how nervous do you guys get trying to focus on what you're doing, driving the race car, and driving to the conditions, being mindful of race strategy, battles, et cetera, and so forth, but also at the same time, for the entirety of the 60 minutes, having one eye skyward, just waiting and watching?
Handful. Yes, it was fairly cold here, but I was still sweating. But I actually got a little bit of practice in this week, knowing that we're going to have those conditions, and I tried to do a little bit of both, and the car was feeling really good yesterday, but come to today, and it was terrible for me. In the wet, I just could not get any grip. I think I come out in 5th position or something like that after the pit stops, and I'd done well, but for the next 3 laps, I just got eaten alive by people who were just overtaking me. But I think I went just 1 lap too long initially. So it was a bit of a slow in lap, but once I got on the wets, I just couldn't get any grip or anything. So it was struggle street right to the end, and just with the amount of rain we had, and it's probably the worst I've had it. I was running in a train of 4 guys, I think, and once they all spread out, I couldn't even see the car in front. The only way I could do is I had to ride on, I think, Sean Bonici's backside. I just literally sat on his bumper, and I could finally see his brake light. So it was just a white wall of water. So it was kind of, had to take a guess that you found the right point to turn in, and hope you stayed on the track. So very hairy one. Glad it's over. So that's my thoughts. You know what I think of wet weather, but interesting race, but very wet out there.
Indeed. Was that one of the things that enticed you to jump into the cockpit tonight? Because I reckon there were a couple of people that opted out of it for that very same reason.
I'm just hoping to try and accrue some more points. My season overall, the last couple of races have not really gone to plan. So, I'm hoping I can hold on to, I've dropped again just looking at the sheet now. I was really hoping to hold on to a podium position, but it's dropped off. So the next 2 rounds, I've got to see what I can get. But no, I'm just in there to try and get what I can get with it and enjoy it, and just try and get as much seat time as possible, because lately it doesn't feel like I'm getting enough, and it's starting to show.
I mean, but it's getting more difficult, isn't it? That juggling act, because, and I'm finding it with my own life. You've got the same amount of hours, you've got the same amount of work, but life's just getting busier. PW. Yes,
it's a bit like that. It's and just getting, once I finished all the other work and that sort of everything, it's actually getting the motivation and have the energy at night to go, get in there and go, all right, I've got to sit down and prepare myself. And just with all the leagues, all the series, they're just getting so competitive that it's, if you can go in there without any practice, you really got to have a lot of luck go your way if you want to get some decent results. So you really need to be able to put that extra bit of time in there to really stand a chance. So it's always a hard one there if you're not super confident going in, and I'm one of those ones, if I'm not confident, I'd rather not cause trouble and affect people's races. So it's time getting in the way, so I've taken a little bit of a step back, but hopefully with the new cars coming, looking forward to GT4, hopefully might take a return back, so I'll get back into that one. I'm definitely looking forward to the Aston coming, and the Dallara is interesting as well. So we'll see. Next term, hopefully I can get a bit more seat time and get in a few different more cars, and it's always helps you improve your overall driving ability, I think, by doing a mix, where all I'm doing at the moment really is GT3. So just the little mistakes, inconsistencies are starting to show through a little too much for my liking.
We run out of time with Joe, but I'd like your thoughts on how you are going to prepare and how you think you might fare when we get to the Nürburgring for the final sprint round next Monday night in this series?
If I can get the car with what I had tonight, I was surprised if I can get it feel a little more comfortable, it'll be okay. But the Merc at the moment, I'm struggling to get the rotation in the car, which you really needed at the Nürburgring because it's very long, very sort of, white corner. So you need to be able to keep the speed up through there, which is struggling at the moment. I was in the server with Greg and the boys tonight, and yeah, we're all noticing the same thing. The Merc does not want to get itself turned in. It can get out of the corner all right, but if you can't get it turned in, it doesn't matter how quick you are on the way out because you've lost too much time. So at this stage, I will reserve judgment. I would like to have a decent result, and if I can get the car feeling comfortable, I usually do okay there. So yeah, bring it on. We'll see how the sprint round goes, and I'm glad it's not wet there because I think it would be chaos there. So yeah, let's bring it on and let's have a fun run to the end of the season and see how it all shakes out.
Indeed. Now, your other role within the club, as Bondi found out a few moments ago, is you are the steward of the series of the club. I wish you well because I reckon there's a bit of footage and paperwork to sift your way through after tonight. Not least with the final lap, the conclusion, the climatic, dramatic finish to the Mazda MX5 second race at Willow Springs, but also, of course, with the several incidents that we saw in the early stages, let alone what happened at the end of GT3 Pro. And I'm not sure how the other series went as well, mate. So good luck with that, and look forward to catching up with you later in the week. What's next as far as the racing's concerned? Is it next Monday night, or will we see you in the car beforehand?
At this stage, it'll officially be next Monday night. But if I get the opportunity to jump in during the week, I might give it a run. The Super Formula, I'm not even sure where it's at. Last week I didn't get a chance to get in there, so it's one of those things. I've got no skin in any of the games at the moment, so it's one of those things. It's, if I can get in there with enough time and feeling comfortable enough to do the races, I might jump in and have a run. But officially, it'd be probably GT3 will be the next one that I will be for sure on track again.
Very nicely done, mate. Great to catch up as always, Woodsy. We'll let you go. We'll hear from Mark Hillian and then we'll say goodbye. Well done again, mate, and thanks for stopping by for a chat. We always appreciate it.
No worries. Thanks, guys.
Mark Hilly, sum it up for me. Rather chaotic GT3 Pro race, but an Orbit drop there 1, 2, 3, a Mustang 1, 2, 3, and a nice return to the podium for you, mate. Well done.
Thanks, Zach. I think it was a Mustang 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you're curious.
Well, actually, it was 4 because who was it? Lockie Cable got a penalty and it's dropped him down to 9. So Wayne Hewitt up to 4th, Shane Clancy in the first of the Mercs up into 5th.
Oh, there you go. Cable couldn't keep it together. No, never mind. It was fun. No, it was actually a really enjoyable race. I think first stint was I sort of had to figure out how to drive this thing in the dry, and then once it started raining, I felt pretty good again. But if you have a look at the results, I think on iRacing you'll see P1 16 incident points, P2 16, P3 P15, 15, P4 8. Like we were all just trying to keep it on track at the end.
How difficult was that? Because it was clear that Stowe was becoming a bit of a problem, right? Then Vale and Club, and then essentially within a couple of laps, it was the whole circuit. But Stowe was essentially the only wet corner on the circuit there for a good 10-minute period. The wetter it got, the trickier it got. It tripped a few of your teammates up. Then there was obviously indecision with regards to the tyres. Some went early, went dry. Some went early, went wets. But you guys at the front, particularly your teammate Harrison Lawless, who won the race, nailed the strategy call, dived in as late as he possibly could, went to the wets, and that was the right time to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. We got spotted by team manager Tom, so he was doing a very good job on the weather. He didn't lie to us. He was very adamant he wasn't sure what was going to happen, but he gave his educated guess, and that turned out to be right. So we definitely capitalized on that.
Now, from your own standpoint, first time we've seen you in the GT3 series this season. Prior to that, how much time had you had to get your head around? You were talking about adapting to the Mustang there a few moments ago, but the new tyre model, the upgrades to GT3 that iRacing threw on everybody about 2.5 months ago.
I really have not done that much GT3 driving with these tyres. I did a bit, like, I don't know, I did maybe 8 in the McLaren around Le Mans for GT Pro, but that was just practicing with the rest of my team. That wasn't because I had to race. So I didn't really know how to drive these things, but my teammate Harrison and Sam have been very helpful with helping me get to grips.
As far as tonight's results concerned, obviously a great result for the teammate. Lewis back in championship contention firmly. That title defence well and truly back on track. Does this now, somewhat influence you to play your hand at the craft of GT3 racing a little bit more? Would we potentially see you back here on a more regular basis, or do outstanding outside circumstances somewhat complicate that prospect?
No, I'd like to do more GT3s. They're kind of fun. If I don't like the track, no promises, but I'd like to show up more often. I had fun tonight.
You'd get along well with a few blokes in here, quite frankly. If it's track dependent, it sometimes does show with the participation numbers that are front and centre when the broadcast goes live. You'd get along very well with them. Hey, great result for the top end of town as far as the three of you are concerned on the podium. But a couple of your teammates ran into some trouble there late in the piece, particularly Dan Yeaman. That was a gallant effort on dry rubber. And at the time, we didn't know exactly when that massive rain band that was coming was going to arrive. And unfortunately for Yeaman, had he pitted one lap later, he might have actually gone wet.
Yeah, we had a look at his. We had a look at all of our onboards at the end of the race, and we could see who had made the right call and who hadn't. And sadly, Yeaman wasn't. But I think we'll, with tyre choices, and especially with such patchy weather as this week, it was honestly luck as to who made the right call, who had the most information. So, nothing on Yeaman. He just got unlucky.
Yeah, indeed. Tricky race like that, isn't it? Everyone's in the same boat, obviously, but we went into VIR waiting for the didn't arrive. It all got sent away from the circuit. It was like it hit a vortex and just got spat out the other way that it was coming from. Then obviously tonight it probably didn't fall as early as we would have liked it to spice the strategy game up, but how do you approach a race like that where you know that it's coming? Granted, you had a spotter there. That's always a benefit to you guys. Not everybody's in that sort of luxurious position. You're probably the envy of the field having Tommy in your corner that way. But what was the plan of attack? Was it wait and watch and act, or was part of the reason you lined up tonight because of the weather component?
Oh, I just lined up because I wanted to give GT3s a go, so I was just sort of lucky. But no, we're definitely very lucky that we had a spotter. But it was sorry, what was the question again?
No, how did you go about approaching the race, knowing that the rain was coming? I mean, obviously you were lucky that you had Tommy spotting for you. Did that dictate your strategy? And if not, how did you go about approaching that race, knowing that there was a job to do in terms of circulating laps and staying on the track, but also was one eye skyward at any point during that first 35 minutes or so?
Yeah, definitely. We had to, I just peek at the incoming weather tab ever so often, but of course having a spotter means that they can look at the weather radar and have a much more detailed view than we ever could. So he got to sort of jump around and look at other people's onboards, see where was wet, where wasn't. So we just sort of had that extra bit of info that I think a lot of people didn't have, and I think that helped us a lot.
I reckon a lot of people would have envied that, actually, quite frankly. Now, I won't necessarily... I'm not going to ask you the other question with regards to the Aston Martin GT3 joining the server, because obviously you're still a bit wet behind the ears with regards to GT3. But what I will ask you is, the Formula One venue that hosts the Mexican Grand Prix, the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. That is the next venue that's joining the iRacing portfolio, mate. There'd be a little bit of excitement within the Orbit Drop Bear ranks, I'm sure, about that.
Yeah, no, definitely. New tracks are always cool, and especially such a high level, high quality track. It'd be cool to have something new to do. I think we all still want Adelaide and tracks a bit before that, but just got to be grateful with what we get.
Well, we know Pukekohe's still coming as well, so there's a lot of exciting ahead in the iRacing world, particularly with Pukekohe. I'm more excited about that one than I am Adelaide, quite frankly, because Pukekohe is one of those circuits destined for the wreckers, destined for living on only in sim racing context and parlance, whereas Adelaide, we go there once a year for the supercar event and all the associated support categories. So we've still got that in the real world, whereas Pukekohe, we unfortunately don't. Mexico is one of my all-time favourites, though, so I'm very excited about that. What's on as far as your racing schedule is concerned for the rest of the week, please?
I got FDL tomorrow. I'm going to try and wrap up the championship. Well, I say wrap up, I'm going to try and win it. It's last round. So that's same place, Silverstone. So that'll be fun. Apart from that, going to be running Apex Racing League laps for Le Mans next weekend, not this one coming. Apart from that, just having more fun.
Am I to be of the belief that being here tomorrow night in a completely different car, I mean, you've got tin top one night, open wheel the next. I'm just trying to work out and gauge as to whether or not the laps you've had here tonight serves you any benefit at all for tomorrow night, considering that they are a completely different beast to drive around this circuit. Open wheelers have a lot higher average speed, etc., than a GT3, and you don't know what the weather conditions are going to be tomorrow night yet, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, it'll be dry. That's what I know. So, I'm feeling quick in it, and this was nice to get a bit of experience just around the track. So, it'll be fine. But I hate to cut it short. I kind of have to set a lap because I'm running out of time in this practice session.
All right, mate. Thanks for stopping on by. We appreciate it. That was my last question for you anyway, because I know we're running out of time broadcast-wise as well. So go and settle up. Good luck tomorrow night. We'll catch up with you next week. Hopefully you're on the grid when we get to the Nürburgring for the doubleheader.
Thanks, mate. Bye.
For the sprint round, of course, that we've got going there next Monday night, the final round of sprint racing for GT3 in this term of racing on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Is it just me, or are a lot of people in a hurry tonight? That's two people that have said, look, I've got to go. And of course, Bondi's a school kid, so I'm always mindful of the fact that we can't keep him around all night either. Early morning alarms and other things that I don't have to worry about. The other thing too, before I bring Scott Jordanson in, we probably should have a look at the AM results of their race tonight here at the Silverstone circuit as well. Martin Davis, Darren Shooter, and Braden O'Loughlin, the top three. Justin Kahir, Martin Pedersen, Andrew Hayes, Janesh Ragwani, Daniel Page, Nathan Harvey, and Edward Rollo, the top 10 there. And they too completed 28 laps. They didn't make it into the 1 minute 59 bracket the way that our leaders in GT3 Pro did this evening, but they did have a little bit of dry weather running, it would seem there. Janesh Ragwani, the fastest lap of the race, back on lap 7 at 2 minute 0.901. No, I was, with Mark Hilly, I was literally just trying to gauge there whether tonight helps or hinders him in any way, shape or form. Same track, so yes, you're familiar with the real estate, you're familiar with the surroundings, but the way you attack the lap, completely different in an open wheeler to a tin top, and I think he did a good enough job of steering us through that one. Well done to Martin Davis on the race in there. It was second in the end. There was nothing really life-affirming about the positional battles of the contest in that one, quite frankly, was there? Jesus, they were spread out. Let's bring in Scott Jordanson. We've already covered it off that it's great to have Lethal Lee Williamson back, within the GSRC, mate. I'm sure you would have enjoyed having his company in the booth this evening to talk about what was an interesting GT3 Pro-Am race. How do you see it? And who'd you have to whack over the knuckles throughout that 60 minutes?
Oh, I got to get going, Zach. Sorry, mate. See ya.
Shut. When have you ever been in a hurry to get going at 10:30 on a bloody Monday night? Says the bloke that can be here till 3 a.m. tomorrow morning having a flag. Able to stick around, ladies and gentlemen. All the other one at post jingle bells.
No, a couple of things. One, I
Yep.
want to reiterate what you said, Joe said earlier, and I'm probably sure it got mentioned earlier in the broadcast too. Massive thank you to Lee Wilkinson. He did. Williamson, sorry. He did an incredible job in RC tonight. Absolutely perfect. Also want to make a big call out to all of the drivers in Pro-Am. Yes, the weather came in and it got difficult. It was such clean, as it is always every week in Pro-Am, such clean, respectful driving. All of those drivers should be really, really proud of themselves, and also a big call out to Joe Baldwin in the amazing work he's done as club president over the last 2 years.
Indeed. Here. Now, how has you? Because for those of you that don't know, the reason we talk to Scott about race control, right, is because it's been somewhat put in your lap. It's a responsibility that you've taken on to recruit some more people to help with race control and adjudication and other things. How have you found that process and the people that you've been working with as a result?
They're all fantastic. And the good thing about it too is they're all individuals and all have their own individuals' opinions. And we've all worked together as a community in getting in, having a lot of things in common and working with and that. Man, seriously, they're all bloody awesome.
Indeed. And that, I guess, is the general feeling right around the club. You know, a genuinely awesome club with genuinely awesome people. And that's why we keep turning up, and that's why people keep signing up to become part of what we do. We must be doing something, right? Because the membership numbers keep going through the roof. When are you back on the track this week, please?
Dude, I haven't been on the track for, I've lost count now, 5 to 7 weeks. I think 7 weeks now.
Well, maybe it's time you did something about that, Scott.
Yeah, true. I bought some new pedal plates if that counts or anything on the weekend.
Well, only if you bloody use them. It doesn't count for anything if they just sit there to collect dust. However,
I bought them. I haven't picked them up yet, so they're not collecting dust yet.
Not yet. But at least the intention is there. You've made the investment with the intention of using them by getting yourself back on the track at some point, mate. That's the main thing. Stay with us. We'll have a chat with you offline. Thank you for that.
No worries,
what have we got by the way of championship points ready to rock and roll, please, Adam Lavis, before we wrap up and get out of here on a Monday night? Harrison Lillis has taken the lead. We suspected he might have. And look at that. Sean Campbell's absence again drops him 3 spots. Harrison Lillis, his 3rd consecutive round win, takes the championship lead, does so to the tune of 27 points. That's a Ford 1-2, ladies and gentlemen, you bloody beauty. And Ryan Bettis with that 13th tonight. Costly blow for him, drops to position number 3, 260 points. So now 17 behind Mitchum and 44 behind Lillis. This is why we said that tonight could have a huge impact on proceedings, had potential to be a game-changing round. Pivotal point of the season, and unfortunately not the result Ryan Bettis would have been hoping for. Sean Campbell stays 4th. Sam Sutton, Miles Burgess, Wayne Hewitt remain 5th, 6th, 7th as they were coming into this round. What's that? 92 points covers 1st and 7th. Sorry, I'm trying to do mental arithmetic and I'm half asleep. 165 for Nick Wood, 162 for Josh Fitt, and Jacob O'Reilly, also not on the grid tonight, 10th on 160 points. So really, there's only mathematically, I'd say, 5 drivers that are still in the fight. But Sam Sutton would need to keep posting big results and hope for some misfortune for those around him. Sean Campbell would just have to turn up again. Ryan Bettis needs a solid run home. Richard Mitchum's the only one that can really deny Harrison Lewis back-to-back titles in Waste Options GT3 Pro. What else have we got? Pro-Am and Am, I should say. Brad Coates, 324, retains his lead despite 7th tonight. Bobby Camo with 3rd goes up to 2nd on 297. 27 the margin there, 1st to 2nd. Craig Bond up to 3rd, but he's going to lose that advantage next week, you would imagine, only picking up 14 points for not being on the grid. We're already aware that he's out next week, so he'll be hoping for a solid finish at Mount Panorama to retain a top 5 finish if he can. But look at the logjam behind him. 21 points covers him and the next 4 behind him. And Jeff Adams is only 30 points off him too. Logjam for 3rd through 8th in that title race at the moment. Brad Coates, Luke King and Sean Benici flying the flag for McLaren. There's a Porsche, a Ferrari and a Cura and a BMW in the top 10 and 3 Mercs as well. So 6 different manufacturers there in the top 10. And I didn't do the numbers for Pro. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Fords, 3 McLarens, a Porsche, 2 McLarens, a Porsche, a Corvette, and BMW sitting there in the top 10 at the moment. And that margin, 99 points covers the top 8 in that series. It's still well and truly alive. And the sprint round next week is vitally important for a few of those guys to stay within the mix and stay within the hunt when we go to Mount Panorama for round 10. Excited about finishing the season at Mount Panorama. It's the first time we've done it in GT3 in a while, and we hope you can join us for that Monday, September 8. The trifecta, ladies and gentlemen. Darren Shooter on top of the points table there at the moment, 315, 21 clear of Patrick Hurnell, another 4 back to Martin Davis, so that's teetering on knife's edge for 2nd and 3rd. Hurnell was an absentee tonight. Round win went to Martin Davis ahead of Darren Shooter and Braden O'Loughlin. McLaren's are 1, 2, 4, and 6, and 9, so that's 5 of them in the top 10, plus another 5 manufacturers. 6 manufacturers in the top 10. You've got a BMW, a Ferrari, a Ford, a Corvette, and a Porsche, all joining that smorgasbord of McLarens. The margins, 99 points again covers the top 7 in this instance, and only 4 points in the battle for 8th as well. 10 points in the battle for 6th. It's a little bit spread out everywhere beyond that. And Edward Rollo's only holding on to the top 10 spot tonight at the expense of Tim Watson, who was doing race control for us, by 3 points. So let that one sink in for the moment. Teams Championship, Revolution E-Racing. So a lot of that is still up in the air and could change in the next couple of weeks, ladies and gentlemen. Brad Coates, Bobby Camo on top, 621. Well clear of Darren Shooter, Daniel Page, and Braden O'Loughlin and Martin Pedersen, and Luke King and Sean Benici. 4 different teams in the top 4, 2 from the Pro-Am, 2 from the Am. And then OPRs, Ryan Bader, Dylan Shepherd are the best placed of the GT3 Pro entries, just ahead of Harrison Lewis and Sam Blacklock. Look at that, only 7 points between them at the moment. But the Pro boys are 5th and 6th in the team's bragging rights at the moment. They'll want to be doing something about that in the next couple of weeks, but I doubt they can when you look at the margin that Revolution E-Racing has on them, 222 points. Marvellous number, that. Now, we've got a bit more business to cover off here before we rock and roll tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I'll do it quickly and as calmly as I possibly can for you. Of course, the usual, we do it with thanks to the great people at Waste Options, and also Trophy AI, Pantech Industries, Sprite and Cider, merch.tgsrci.com, and Flash Graphics. Merch.tgsrci.com or gsrcmerch.myshopify.com is where you go for all your GSRC paraphernalia. Get that, a shirt or a stubby cooler or a bottle opener for Father's Day, why don't you? gsrcmerch.myshopify.com, merch.tgsrci.com is where you go for all your GSRC paraphernalia, all your GSRC memorabilia goods. And of course, if you want to get involved and be a part of what we do here, either on the operational side of the fence or, of course, the racing side of the fence, race.tgsrci.com is where you go for all your information there regarding how to sign up and get involved. Pay your membership fee, become a member, join the Discord, join the servers, and go from there and go and have some fun with the best club league racing series in Australian iRacing. Now, and the biggest as well. Now, the other thing as well, Joe mentioned it earlier, Scott as well, Adam too, end of the week, Sunday. We believe it's 3 o'clock Eastern, AGM 2025. A new president will be anointed, with Joe stepping aside back into a subcommittee role for the moment. So it's not too late to get your votes in or clear some time in your diary to be a part of that Sunday afternoon, 3 o'clock. And we hope to see as many members there as we possibly can. We look ahead for you on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club across Facebook, Facebook and YouTube. It's been a while since I've slipped up with mentioning Twitch, which we haven't been on for a year. Ferrari Challenge tomorrow night, onto the MotoGP layout of the Motor One Aragon circuit in Spain, the 3-race super sprint format there. Race start 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. They're still yet to confirm whether we'll be here in week 10 or not to bring in the grand finale of that series. We always try and do the Tuesday night if the turn-up warrants it. So if the fields are still strong in the Ferrari Challenge, I'm sure we'll be putting something together in week 10 to bring in their 3-race super sprint format campaign. Merch.tgsrci.com. Gen 4 NASCAR's Wednesday night from Michigan International, 65 laps or minutes, whichever comes first. Probably a crash fest, so probably time, not laps. Michigan International, Wednesday night, 7:30, followed by a trip to the Okayama International Circuit for a 40-minute hit out for the supercars with thanks to Trophy AI. That is from 8:45. You can join Liam Banks and Daniel Yeaman for that. Thursday night, Matt Schmidtke will be here, and look, I hope I will be too, but I'll elaborate on why I might not be in just a tick. We're off to Donington Park first up in the United Kingdom, race 22, 23, 24 with the V for the term, and that has been a scintillating series so far. If you thought the Mazda racing tonight was top shelf, and it was, the Vs are red hot as well. So if you enjoyed the Mazda, you'll enjoy the Vs. Thursday night, Donington Park, 3 sprint races, 7:30 Eastern. Adam Lavis will be front and centre in the thick of the action on track on that occasion. Then the Porsche Cup heads to the Algarve, to the Portimao region of Portugal, to the Algarve International Circuit for a 40-minute hit out of Pantech Industries Porsche Cup, 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. That venue, of course, very famous in GSRC parlance after the last Australian Open World Nationals was run and won with, of course, Marcus Watkinson coughing and spluttering at the line and Sam Chapman claiming second AOWN crown by the skin of his teeth on last gasp of what was a thrilling 60-minute affair in the last 50 metres. I think it was the lead changed hands. Friday night, again, hoping to be here, but other circumstances will determine that. At Donington Park, the venue, Joe Baldwin's here regardless. Donington Park, the venue first up for the sprint round of the Formula Ford Series, 2 sprint races, 7:30 Eastern. Then on to Circuit Park, Zandvoort for sprint racing there too in Sprayton Cider Super Formula. That is from 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. The Formula Ford's getting us underway at 7:30. The boys will spin the wheel on Friday night to determine where we race Saturday night for 200 kilometres from 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the Wheelie Spins Oz Tour. They'll spin the wheel for both the car and the track combination. So I hope you can join us for that. Mazda MX5 Challenge kicks off week 9 action for you next Monday night. Night 1, week 9, term 3. 3 times 3 is 9, and 9 times 1 is 9. It all works out very nicely there, doesn't it? Circuit of Spa-Francorchamps, the venue. 30-minute race, yes. We do away with the sprint racing now in the Mazdas. It's a 30-minute out-and-out sprint with a stop included. 7:30 Eastern. It's a long lap around Spa. They'll go up the Camel Straight. They'll have enough time to make a coffee. It'll be great. I hope you can join us for that. And then, as I said, we won't have the pro split on broadcast next week, which is not necessarily a bad thing considering only one of them showed up for a post-race interview tonight. They'll all want to chat to us next week. They're not on broadcast. Pro-Am and Am for you next Monday night. Am race first, Pro-Am second. So you'll see the feature race from the Pro-Am, the sprint race from the Am, as we get stuck into the 4th and final sprint round of the season, the Waste Options GT3 series from the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit in Germany, and that is from 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Now, I don't know why earlier I had the Nürburgring listed for something else. I don't know why I saw... for some reason, Adam Lavis, the venue on the Mazda points table says Nürburgring for next week, but it is Spa, and it has been Spa all season. I don't know why I didn't jog my memory then. I know you'll fix that on the Google Drive document a little bit later on. So yes, Circuit of Spa-Francorchamps, Belgium, German double, flags that contain the same 3 colours, but they are different countries for you next week right here on Facebook and YouTube, the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Now, I've been holding back on this all night. But I wanted to, on the way out last week, of course, we recognised and acknowledged the passing of Joseph Bianchini, the continuation of a truly horrible week for the New South Wales karting community, at least, and even more broadly across the country as well. With the, I believe, sudden and unexpected. I'm not aware of any details yet, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm not sure whether this was expected or whether it was not so. But the world lost one of the nice guys on Saturday with the passing of the bloke that ran the Autobahn Maitland franchise in Rutherford, a gentleman by the name of Barry Hill, dad to Matt and Madison. Matty Hill, of course, runs an annual charity car show there at the Newcastle Kart Club each year for the Breast Cancer Network of Australia. She does an amazing job, ably assisted by her brother and her father and the rest of the family. And Baz was one of the true gentlemen of our caper. From a personal standpoint, I met those guys in 2015. We hit it off. It was at the Picton Kart Club. It was my return to karting commentary, and then our paths kept crossing for the next 2 years after that, and then still with the charity car show every year afterwards when I was back down in New South, whenever I was able to attend the event. It missed a couple of years due to COVID, obviously, but they've relaunched it in the last couple of years. It's been absolutely fantastic. But Baz was a true blue Ford supporter. He was Ford through and through, so it was quite fitting that we went Ford 1, 2, 3, 4 tonight. He was only 70 years old, and as I said, the reason I'm subject to confirmation for Thursday and Friday this week is dependent on when the funeral details for Baz are confirmed, because if it is this week, then I'll be heading down most likely one of the nights that I should be on air, and vice versa. And even if it's next week, then that might have an impact there too. But either way, I'll be heading down for it to see the family unexpectedly and go and pay my respects. Everyone's mate, as I described him when I wrote about it on Facebook in the early hours of Sunday morning, would do anything for his mates, but he went above and beyond over the call of duty for his two kids. Took them around the country, particularly Matthew, racing go-karts. Did a magnificent job at the Autobahn store. His team actually installed my car stereo. He even stayed at my place a few years back when I was living across in Leichhardt here up in Ipswich, when they were in town for the karting nationals. So within all of that, I got to know the Hill family very, very well. I know I've got to wrap it up here, folks, but it's one of those days that we didn't see coming. It's never easy to say goodbye to friends and loved ones. And that one was particularly tough because there was no sort of real indication of anything being awry for Baz. So, and I only caught up with him in December, as I said. So, to his family, his friends, his extended family, everybody that's feeling it at the moment, everyone that's doing it tough on the back of the news that Baz passed away at the age of 70 and a half, actually. Born February 23, 1955, passed away August 23, 2025, 70 and a half on the nose. My love, my condolences to you from all of us here on the platforms of the GSRC. I'll be there to pay my respects when the world says goodbye in the coming days. And the Autobahn store, knowing that that's what Baz would have wanted there in Rutherford, reopened today, having been closed for a couple of days to process the news that they were coming to terms with, that their front man, their main man, was no longer going to be around. A very sad time for karting. As I said, we've just been punished in the last couple of weeks with Joseph Bianchini, and it feels silly to say that 70 is too young and too soon when you're talking about the passing of a 13-year-old last week, but it is true. And it's been one of those ones that I've struggled to get my head around, I must say. So condolences to Baz. He would have loved the fact that it was because he was the only bloke I knew that kept the Ford Holden rivalry as well lit as anybody else ever could. If you bled blue, he was right there with you. He would have bled blue if it was possible to do so. And if you were a Holden fan, you were quick to hear about it. And I'll never forget the banter that followed when Mads, his daughter, owned a Holden there and was a Holden driver for a small period of time. I'm sure there was some redrafting of the rule at that particular point as part of the banter. But no, a lovely, lovely guy. We'd do a far better job as a society if we had more people like Barry Hill in it. One of life's gentlemen, and he will be badly missed. So we'll dedicate the Ford 1, 2, 3, 4 tonight to the departed, voted Ford fan, and we'll say goodbye to you on that note. Hope you enjoyed Waste Options Monday Night Motorsport platform. The Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club across Facebook and YouTube. The Mazda's turned it on. GT3 proved chaotic in the end. The wet weather arrived. Harrison Lewis prevailed. His third consecutive round win. Back in the hunt, back in the lead of the title race, and reaching out, trying to cling on to the trophy and with one hand and secure it with the other over the next couple of weeks to make it back-to-back titles and continue along the same trajectory that the man he knocked off the top step of the summit, Matthew Dench, went on with the 13 consecutive title run. It's going to be a tough feat to match or surpass, but baby steps, right? 2 down, 13 to go. That's if you can get the 2 down, 11 to go. That's if you can get the job done over the next 2 weeks. But the current form he's in, you'd be mad to bet against him. On behalf of that, I'm Lavis crew here. Dan Yeaman, Liam Banks picking it up for you on Wednesday. I'll hopefully see you Thursday as Week 8 action continues on the platform. Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club for Term 3 of 2025. Until then, enjoy the US Open tennis tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Action from 1 a.m. Eastern Time. Alex Demonor in action Wednesday morning. But the specifics of it in terms of court and time will be confirmed tomorrow. Plenty of Aussies in court tomorrow. You can watch the action on 9 Gem and Stan Sport in what is otherwise a very quiet couple of days on the sporting front. It's just the tennis at the moment. That's not a bad thing because it's going to ramp up very quickly, of course, with the AFL Legends game later in the week, the Bombers and Gold Coast on Wednesday night, and another weekend of NRL action. But the Formula One is back this weekend, so as motorsport fans, we're excited about that. But yes, tennis in the meanwhile until we reconvene Wednesday. Hopefully see you Thursday. In the meantime, from all the crew here, we say rest in peace to Barry Hill and have a great evening, everybody. Until we see you next time, I'm Zach Caven.